This young man, in order to ditch school, actually told his parents he wanted to leave home to become a Daoist priest. Even being beaten into a pulp by his parents could not stop his determination to drop out. Incredibly, he accidentally became the disciple of a top 5 powerhouse on the heaven rank, and even got a senior sister who was in the top 10. From now on, he can basically walk tall and act like a boss. The young man's name is Wang Sheng. In his past life, he was just an obscure rogue cultivator. Once, he accidentally stumbled into a turf war, got caught in the crossfire, and just like that, he kicked the bucket in a total fluke. Unexpectedly, he was reincarnated back to when he was 17. Watching the successful rocket launch on TV, he remembered that in his previous life, this rocket brought something back from the moon, causing the spiritual energy that had been dormant for millennia to recover, ushering Earth into an era of universal cultivation. Wang Sheng realized this was a golden opportunity for him, so he hobbled over to his parents and stammered that he wanted to go to Wudang Mountain to be a priest. As a result, he was beaten black and blue by his parents, but fortunately, he still managed to set foot on the road to Wudang, because in the memories of his past life, Wudang Mountain carried significant weight among the elites of the heaven rank. He did not have a master in his previous life, so this time he had to seize the chance. But when he finally struggled to the mountain peak, he found out that Daoist master Gao Shixing was not there. He would not be back for several months. Just as he was about to leave in disappointment to seek other sects, a middle-aged man passing by caught his attention. Young man, interested in some secret martial arts manuals. This is the genuine ancient Wudang inheritance. Only $300 a book. Wang Sheng recognized at a glance that this man was actually Master Bian Qingyanzi. In his past life, he was a top 5 legend on the heaven rank. How could Wang Sheng let this chance slip away? He immediately begged the master to take him as a disciple. I wish to follow you, master, in search of the great Tao. Qingyanzi, however, just held his head, speechless. Kid, have you been reading too many novels? Every other word out of your mouth is cultivation and immortality. Have you ever even seen anyone use magic? Seeing Wang Sheng's persistent sincerity, and confirming he was not just a runaway kid who'd seen too many movies, the master said, answer me one question. If I am satisfied, then I will let your parents come talk to me. Then Qingyanzi showed a rather mischievous grin. After you become my disciple, if your dad and I both fall into the water and are about to drown, who do you save first? Wang Sheng was instantly stunned. Isn't this the classic no W in question? Save the master first. That would be unfilial to his parents. There is a saying in the Daoist sects that morality is the foundation of all things. The sect's creed dictates, one who lacks filial piety cannot truly become a person. Save the parents first. That would mean placing the master second. It puts the teacher below the family. The claim that a master is like a parent would be a lie. It would mean his words and heart are not in sync. The principle of regarding a master as a father would be broken. After hesitating for a long time, Wang Sheng finally blurted out the answer, I would save my dad. To his absolute surprise, he actually succeeded. Furthermore, Qingyanzi even managed to convince Wang Sheng's parents. So Qingyanzi brought Wang Sheng to his residence and introduced him to senior sister Mu Shixuan. But when he heard the senior sister's name, Wang Sheng immediately lost his cool. The fairy Buyu, Mu Shixuan, is actually his senior sister. With 2 top 10 powerhouses protecting him, he can definitely walk all over his enemies now. Seeing Wang Sheng's overexcited state, the senior sister could not help but ask the master in confusion. Is there something wrong with his head? Is he mentally stable? Qingyanzi could not help but sigh. If he were just a normal kid, who would have the heart to send him up the mountain to suffer? As his senior sister, you should look after your junior brother more in the future. Leading him into the house, Qingyanzi spoke to Wang Sheng with a solemn expression. Even though you call me master, before the official initiation, there is still a probationary period. You need to be mentally prepared. If you can't hack it, I won't force you to stay on the mountain. Do you understand? Wang Sheng immediately declared that he would not give up, even if it killed him. And so, Qingyanzi promptly sent him off to grind flour. Once the midday sun came out, Qingyanzi saw that the morning chill had dissipated. So he called senior sister out to begin their cultivation practice. Watching the two of them sitting in meditation, Wang Sheng could not help but feel envious. Even if it was just the process of calming the mind and focusing the spirit, this kind of cultivation, accumulated over years and months, becomes incredibly formidable. No wonder after the recovery of the world's essence qi, the cultivation speed of these Daoists far exceeds that of ordinary people. This only made him more determined in his resolve. Once I pass this entry-level grind, Master will probably teach me some actual cultivation methods. By the time all the wheat was ground into flour, even though Wang Sheng had done months of physical training, he was still completely exhausted. At that moment, senior sister kindly brought a bowl of water to Wang Sheng. After resting for a brief moment, He was taken into his room by Master. Master told him to go down the mountain after his nap to see his parents, just to put their minds at ease. And then Master left. Outside the house, Qingyanzi quietly beckoned, calling over senior sister, who was busy playing Snake on her phone. The two of them peeked at Wang Sheng, who was sitting cross-legged on the bed, meditating. Seeing Wang Sheng's sheer effort, they were both very satisfied. But the next second, a loud thud came from inside the room. It turned out Wang Sheng had fallen asleep while meditating and tumbled over. Looking at Wang Sheng in that state, the two of them could not help but burst out laughing. One wonders what kind of trials await Wang Sheng in the future. Anyway, after Wang Sheng went down the mountain to say goodbye to his parents, he returned. On the way, he wondered why Master made him buy 2 cases of the cheapest bottled water, when there was clearly a fresh spring on the mountain. But when he got back and saw what Master was doing, the image of his great master instantly crumbled. His master was writing Wudang Mountain Holy Water in big letters on the bottles. He even proudly called it his side hustle, charging anywhere from $20 to $100 a bottle, claiming he could sell over 10 bottles a day. Wang Sheng facepalmed in silence. Later, Master decided to teach Wang Sheng an introductory boxing set. In an instant, his master's towering image was restored in his heart. As he performed the set of movements, Wang Sheng felt a flow of energy circulating through his body. He did not expect to learn such a profound technique right at the very beginning. This made Wang Sheng incredibly excited. Before he knew it, he had practiced until nightfall. He then noticed senior sister, who had been accompanying him, had fallen asleep on the ground. Wang Sheng had to wake her up and tell her to go sleep in bed. Drowsy and bleary-eyed, senior sister slowly shuffled back into the house. Looking at her back, Wang Sheng recalled what Master had told him. Senior sister had a severe illness when she was a child, which left her with a permanent difficulty in speaking. As her junior brother, he must take good care of her from now on. But the next second, a piece of clothing landed right on Wang Sheng's face. Following that, he saw the dazed senior sister preparing to take off her inner garments. Blushing, Wang Sheng hurriedly closed his eyes and pushed her back into the room. He blurted out a good night and hastily shut the door. Back in his own bed, Wang Sheng was still thinking about what just happened. He did not expect senior sister to be so completely off her guard around him, but as her junior brother-to-be, he definitely could not take advantage of her. Just then, because he had been practicing boxing all day, Wang Sheng felt a sharp, throbbing pain throughout his arms. It seems formal cultivation really is not that simple. He decided to meditate a bit longer before going to sleep, but after meditating for less than 2 minutes, Wang Sheng drifted off to sleep again. In a haze, he felt someone approach his bedside. Once he saw who it was, Wang Sheng jolted awake and sat bolt upright. The person was none other than his master. It turned out Master noticed that since he joined the sect late, his meridians were blocked, and his body was far too stiff. So he came specifically to massage Wang Sheng's bones and stimulate his circulation. He felt a current alternating between hot and cold flowing from Master's palms. Could this be the inner breath that martial artists always seek? Watching Master use his hard-earned inner breath to treat him, Wang Sheng subconsciously clenched his fists. He secretly vowed that he would never let Master down. The next day, when Wang Sheng practiced his fist techniques again, he felt as light as a swallow. His spirit was also much stronger than it had been the morning before. From then on, Master would have Wang Sheng exhaust his physical strength every day, reaching a state of deep fatigue, and every 3 days, Master would help him with the bone massaging treatment. After 2 or 3 sessions, Wang Sheng could already feel the general positions of all his meridians. Taking this opportunity, Wang Sheng also tried practicing the basic cultivation methods from his past life. Although there was still no major breakthrough, the frequency and quality of expelling turbid qi from his body improved significantly. However, the side effect was also very obvious. That is, the expelled turbid qi was incredibly foul-smelling. It was so pungent that senior sister could not even stay in her room. Looking at Wang Sheng, Qingyanzi was also filled with joy. This bargain disciple of mine is truly a diamond in the rough. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. On this day, Qingyanzi called Wang Sheng to his side. Tomorrow, I will invite a senior from the Daoist gate to be a witness, to pass down the techniques to you, and officially induct you into our Daoist lineage. The following day, Qingyanzi officially bestowed the Daoist name Fei Yu upon Wang Sheng. He also handed him a manual left by the pure young immortal of their sect. I will give you half a month to transcribe this. This is the foundation of your future cultivation. You must treat this scripture with the utmost respect. Wang Sheng was overjoyed. Thank you, Master, for the teaching. Subsequently, Wang Sheng began his formal cultivation and martial arts training. Time flew by and 2 months passed. Today, Qingyanzi had senior sister spar with Wang Sheng to test his progress. Wang Sheng's moves looked as fierce as a tiger, but in reality, he was just a Hello Kitty. Wang Sheng could not even touch the hem of senior sister's clothes. After a long while, Wang Sheng was so utterly dominated that he almost went into a shell. he could not help but start questioning his life choices. Is the gap between me and a pro really this huge? In the end, he could only cling to senior sister's leg. Senior sister, if I get bullied in the future, you must definitely have my back. Senior sister looked at her junior brother, and naturally agreed with a smile. By now, Wang Sheng had been at Wudang for 2 months. On this day, Qing Yanzi finally decided to teach Wang Sheng true Daoist martial arts. This sword formation is called the 7-star sword formation. It focuses on shifting body techniques and precise footwork maneuvers. This martial art is on par with your senior sister's yin-yang bagua. If mastered to perfection, the person vanishes, but the sword intent remains. The Big Dipper descends, and all demons are purged. Then, Qing Yanzi gave a demonstration for Wang Sheng. Wang Sheng was stunned after watching. Is this the Tao rhyme driven by the essence of heaven and earth? Hasn't the world's essence not fully recovered yet? How on earth did Master do that? After the demonstration ended, Qing Yanzi handed a tree branch to Wang Sheng. As for practicing this sword technique, if you can achieve basic mastery in 3 years, you are already a top-tier talent. Don't be impatient. Start with the basic forms first. Wang Sheng was incredibly excited. I definitely won't let Master's efforts go to waste. I will strive to at least touch senior sister's sleeve as soon as possible. Qing Yanzi immediately gave Wang Sheng a flick on the forehead. Look at you, aiming so low. Wang Sheng chuckled while holding his head. Hee, this is just a short-term goal. I am still far behind senior sister, but I do not want to be weaker than her forever. After all, such a cute senior sister. Of course I should be the one protecting her. With the help of over a decade of self-taught experience from his past life, in just one afternoon, Wang Sheng had already memorized nearly half of the entire sword technique. In his previous life, he suffered from a lack of systematic cultivation methods. Now that everything is laid out right in front of him, if he does not work hard, this reincarnation would be a total waste. Looking at his senior sister again, Wang Sheng let out a deep sigh. Well, time to train like my life depends on it. As time flew by, Wang Sheng had unknowingly been on the mountain for 2.5 years. With the passage of time, Wang Sheng's understanding of his master and senior sister grew deeper. He felt like a woodcutter who had accidentally stumbled into a nest of immortals. Senior sister's soul was pure and free of any stray thoughts. Her comprehension of the Tao seemed to be etched into her very bones. It is just that she did not quite understand why there were differences between men and women. And his master, Qing Yanzi, was even more of a legendary freak. Expounding Daoist scriptures, talismans, exorcising evil spirits, alchemy and medicine, he mastered them all. It was a mystery how Master managed to master so many skills in just 40-odd years of life. As for Wang Sheng, in this half year, he had fully mastered the 7-star sword formation. One day, Master suddenly said to Wang Sheng, "The weather has turned cold. The thawing snow is even colder than the falling snow. Starting tonight, you should sleep in the same room as Xixuan." Hearing this, Wang Sheng's face turned beet red. "Master, just let senior sister sleep there. I will be fine." Qing Yanzi suddenly leaned in with a mischievous look. "What is this? Don't tell me you have impure thoughts about your own senior sister." Wang Sheng hurriedly replied in embarrassment. "How could I? Am I that kind of person?" Qing Yanzi patted Wang Sheng on the shoulder. "Keep it simple, young man. Consider this a trial for your mental discipline." That night, Wang Sheng huddled nervously under his blanket, wondering if Master was intentionally trying to set him up with senior sister. Just then, senior sister poked Wang Sheng's cheek. He saw senior sister making a face that said, "Junior brother is ignoring me." She looked like a grumpy baby. Thinking back to how excited she looked when she heard he was moving in, his current reaction did seem a bit inappropriate. He immediately said he was just a bit shy. Senior sister suddenly thought of something, and she brought over a Go board. Wang Sheng was puzzled. 5 in a row. He thought to himself that his senior sister was as pure as a blank sheet of paper. Wait, no, she is more like transparent plastic wrap. She has absolutely no concept of those things. So he said to her, "We can only play for half an hour. Otherwise, we will be yawning all day tomorrow, and Master will give us a proper scolding." The days passed until it was the 15th day of the first lunar month, the exact time when the world's essence Qi would awaken, according to his memories from his past life. Today is the day the essence Qi recovers. I must pay close attention. I can't let Master and senior sister miss this opportunity. Meanwhile, the 2 people inside waiting for Wang Sheng to eat Lantern Festival dumplings suddenly froze. They all sensed it at the same time. The world's essence Qi is here. Just as Wang Sheng was about to warn them, Master had already appeared behind him. "Calm your mind, do not miss your chance. Meditate. Circulate our sect's heart mantra. Your senior sister's meridians were already cleared long ago. She has already entered a deep state of meditation. Let me lend you a hand first to clear the meridians throughout your body." Wang Sheng could not help but feel a surge of gratitude. To a cultivator, the first wisp of quintessential qi reviving after a 1,000-year slumber, is a priceless treasure. If I miss this, I might never encounter such a golden opportunity again in this lifetime. Even in such a critical moment, Master still worries that my meridians are not fully cleared yet. This kind of kindness, how can I ever repay him in the future? After his meridians were cleared, Wang Sheng felt his internal circulation moving over 10 times faster than before. Is this the massive boost that heaven and earth quintessential qi grants a cultivator? It seems that after today, earth will usher in a brand new era, and Wang Sheng, compared to his previous life, has undergone a complete metamorphosis. Yet he is still unaware that he is destined to shine brilliantly across this world. When Wang Sheng finished his cultivation and opened his eyes, he saw his senior sister looking at him with a face full of concern. Senior sister, have you finished your breathing exercises already? Senior sister quickly pressed a finger to Wang Sheng's lips, shushing him. She then pointed in the other direction. Following the direction she pointed, he saw Master was in the middle of a breakthrough. Wang Sheng was overjoyed. Master is already reaching the spirit accumulation stage. He could not help but marvel at how terrifyingly deep Master's foundations were. Senior sister is naturally gifted, so her advancement goes without saying. But my own cultivation has also reached a whole new level. In just a single night's work, the true essence in my body has already surpassed years of hard labor from my past life. My comprehension of the 7-star sword formation has also ascended to another realm. Wang Sheng stood guard for his master for 3 days. Only then did the master emerge from his meditative state. The first thing he did upon waking was call the two of them inside. He described to them the world of cultivation from 1,000 years ago. At the same time, he warned them, the world is about to change. Turmoil will naturally follow. As Daoist cultivators, we bear the great responsibility of exorcising demons and defending the way. After those brief instructions, the master and disciples returned to their old cultivation routine. Everything seemed as if nothing much had changed. In the blink of an eye, Wang Sheng had already spent 3 years on Wudang Mountain. The originally peaceful days of cultivation were shattered today by a visiting Daoist priest. A stout Daoist priest was seen running this way with a look of pure panic. He was shouting at the top of his lungs as he ran, "Senior brother, Wudang is in big trouble." When the stout priest finally entered the house, the situation finally became clear. It turned out that not long ago, over 20 famous sects planned to hold an exchange meeting at Mount Mao, essentially to test each other's hidden strengths. And this stout priest was the leader of the Wudang delegation this time, but his cultivation level was quite low. If someone decided to test him on purpose, he was afraid he would not be able to hold his own. That is why he came to Qing Yanzi for help. After Qing Yanzi heard the whole story, he spoke up and said, "If you are looking for a cultivator at the embryo stage to hold down the fort, I am afraid I can't go." The stout priest was shocked. "Senior brother, has your cultivation level dropped?" "How is that even possible?" "It did not drop. I just broke through to the void core stage a few months ago. It might be a bit inappropriate for me to show up now." The stout priest was instantly hit by Qing Yanzi's humble brag. "I just barely reached the spirit accumulation stage myself. Can you please have some mercy on my feelings? Even though I can't go, my 2 disciples certainly meet your requirements." The stout priest was stunned. Bu and Fei Yu have already broken through to the embryo stage. Qing Yanzi said with a casual shrug, "They are doing okay, I guess." Xiao Zhan just broke through to the fetal realm a few months ago. Wang Sheng focuses more on the Tao of the sword. He also joined the sect quite late, so his cultivation level is slightly lower than his senior sisters. He has barely reached the late stage of the spirit gathering realm. This once again triggered the fat Daoist priest. "I know you have a high cultivation, and your disciples are talented, but is there a need to flex like this? If my cultivation were not lower than yours, I would really want to fight you to the death right now." Meanwhile, Wang Sheng, who overheard everything outside, was laughing so hard his stomach hurt. Master's skill at acting cool while staying composed is getting more sophisticated by the day. After the fat Daoist priest left, Qing Yanzi instructed Wang Sheng to take his senior sister and follow Uncle Li for the exchange. Since it was senior sister's first time leaving home, Qing Yanzi gave her some earnest and heartfelt advice. He kept nagging her about how to behave with strangers. Qing Yanzi was truly being a mother hen about it. He kept going on and on with his sincere warnings. He was being incredibly thorough and earnest. He was terrified that his precious disciple might be kidnapped. Once everything was ready, Qing Yanzi once again cautioned Wang Sheng like a worried father. "On this trip, you must remember to guard against arrogance and impulsiveness. Do not bully the weak with your strength, and do not go around showing off your Tao arts. Try to keep a low profile, understand? Master, do not you worry. Keeping a low profile is my middle name." When he saw senior sister coming out in her Daoist robes, Wang Sheng could not help but be dazed by her beauty. At that moment, Qing Yanzi suddenly pushed Wang Sheng toward her. "Quick, stand over there. Let me take a couple of photos of you too. I need something to post on my social media." Master, what happened to keeping a low profile? When the two of them reached the foot of the mountain, senior sister immediately attracted a crowd of onlookers. People started pulling out their phones to snap pictures of her. Wang Sheng could only remind his senior sister, if anyone takes photos of you or something, just pretend you do not see them. Don't go hurting anyone. Senior sister nodded in agreement while munching on snacks. Soon, the two of them saw Uncle Li, who had been waiting for a while. He then introduced them to the other fellow disciples on this trip. After some brief pleasantries, everyone got in the car and headed to their destination. Watching senior sister looking out the window with curiosity, Wang Sheng could not help but ask her, "Are you excited?" Senior sister swiftly sent over a few emojis and then showed them to Wang Sheng. After seeing them, Wang Sheng did not know whether to laugh or cry. He quickly said he understood. Ever since he got a new phone for senior sister, her emoji game has been getting stronger and stronger. He could not help but think, when it comes to meme battles now, everyone else here is basically a novice. Silently watching his happy senior sister, Wang Sheng secretly made a resolution. In his past life, he only lived to be 31. There were many things he never got to truly experience. This time, everything will be different, and he must protect those around him. Regarding this exchange meeting, will everything go smoothly for Wang Sheng's group? The group arrived at Mount Mao and settled in for a rest. Early the next morning, senior sister was sulking in her room while playing on her phone. It turns out that last night, she wanted to continue sharing a room with Wang Sheng, but since they were out in public with many people around, Wang Sheng felt it was not appropriate and turned her down. As soon as she saw Wang Sheng coming over, she immediately sent him an angry emoji. Wang Sheng had no choice but to find ways to coax his senior sister. He planned to take her for a walk around Mount Mao and buy some local souvenirs for their master. At that moment, the fellow disciples also asked to join them. While they were wandering around Mount Mao, some fellow Daoists from Mount Mao suddenly came forward to greet them. After some polite formalities, they bid each other farewell. Wang Sheng could not help but feel suspicious. What kind of stunt are these Maoshan guys trying to pull? Did they just come over here to say hello? But I had not even walked a few steps away when I heard those Maoshan fellows whispering among themselves. It is all about cultivating the way and realizing dharmas now. Why did a Wudang disciple come here to join the fun? Does he want to swing a sword or throw some punches? Only then did Wang Sheng realize these people were actually looking for a fight. Just as they were clamoring, the blonde guy was suddenly smacked hard on the back of his head by something. He immediately cried out in pain, "Who is stabbing me in the back?" Wang Sheng guessed right away this was his senior sister's doing. He immediately grabbed her hand and ran off into the distance. "You have caused trouble, so hurry up and run. Why stay here and wait for a brawl?" In the afternoon, at the plaza in front of the Changshi Palace of Maoshan, Uncle Master Li was like an incarnation with 3 heads and 6 arms, enthusiastically greeting everyone he saw. Someone in the crowd mocked, "Why is Wudang even joining the hype?" They even brought out a pretty female disciple just to gain fame. They probably paid to hire her, did not they? Hearing these discussions, Wang Sheng could not help but feel frustrated. The Daoist heritage has only just begun to recover. It is understandable that Daoist martial arts are not taken seriously. But my dear Daoist masters, could you lower your voices a bit? Otherwise, I am afraid I won't be able to hold my senior sister back. Uncle Master Li also sighed deeply at this treatment. Every sect is likely waiting to see us make fools of ourselves. During the Daoist exchange, later, someone will likely challenge you all to a duel. As he said this, Uncle Master Li's eyes suddenly lit up. "Boo you. As long as you step up and show them who is boss, we can sit back and enjoy the show peacefully today." Wang Sheng was about to say that the master told them to keep a low profile, but then he saw senior sister agreeing with an excited face. Wang Sheng could not help but feel a headache coming on. Fine. I guess everyone better pray for themselves. Soon, the Grand Assembly officially began. Wang Sheng had to remind his senior sister once again, telling her that if she really had to go on stage, don't reveal too much of your true power. Just then, a Maoshan disciple stood up. "Since that is the case, let us from Maoshan go first. Consider this just a humble opening act." Then he was seen pulling out a talisman, instantly transforming it into a sword, and then making the sword vanish just as quickly. Wang Sheng and his group were speechless. That is it. This is the world-renowned Maoshan Daoist magic. Oh, truly impressive. Suddenly, a voice rang out from the crowd. Everyone wondered who was speaking. The person continued, "Back in the day, under the overpass, 1 buck could buy 7 shows and still leave me some change. Tisk tisk, you are really doing the 3 talisman sects proud, are not you?" At this moment, senior sister tugged at Wang Sheng's arm. She pointed in a certain direction, only to see a blonde youth lying leisurely in a chair. Wang Sheng heard him mention the 3 talisman sects. It seems this guy is a successor of either Longhu Mountain or Gazeo Mountain. The host quickly quickly changed the subject, laughing it off to clear the awkwardness. Immediately after, he invited Wudang to the stage. Senior brother Zhou then slowly walked up. Seeing Wudang taking the stage, the audience below immediately started a commotion again. Wudang's swordsmanship is indeed exquisite, but today, everyone is showing off Daoist magic. Swordsmanship seems a bit out of place, does not it? Hearing the mockery from below, senior brother Zhou instantly broke into a cold sweat. That blonde guy spoke up again. Don't talk nonsense. Be careful. This Wudang senior brother might unleash 3,000 sword chi in one strike, and wipe you all out in a second. Everyone burst into laughter instantly. At that moment, Wang Sheng stepped onto the arena. Senior brother Zhou, let me take over. Your sword arts are profound and restrained, senior brother. It is only natural that some commoners with untrained eyes cannot appreciate them. Coincidentally, I have a few flashy sword styles. They should be perfect for a demonstration. Wang Sheng took the sword from senior brother Zhou. Under the astonished gaze of the crowd, he executed the 7-star sword formation. As soon as the host saw Wang Sheng's sword moves, he was struck with immense shock. The lucid sword heart. That is definitely the lucid sword heart recorded in the ancient scriptures. When Wang Sheng finished his demonstration, the entire venue fell into a dead silence. A third-generation disciple actually possesses a spirit-gathering stage, cultivation. No one dared to look down on Wudang Mountain anymore. The host then announced that everyone was free to spar and learn from one another. Senior sister suddenly perked up. She was itching for a fight and ready to jump into the arena. Just then, Wang Sheng noticed the blonde young man slowly standing up. He was walking towards their direction. Was this guy subconsciously targeting senior sister? But he soon realized that the man's target was actually himself. At that exact moment, a disciple from Shishan Maoshan approached. Maoshan disciple, Lu Yunji. I humbly wish to challenge the capturing great Dao of the Longhu Heaven sect. Honorable cultivator, Shi Qianzhang. Would you care for another sparring match with me? Shi Qianzhang rubbed his head helplessly. What is the matter? Still salty about your loss last time? Well, it is not like that sword beggar bro from Wudang is going anywhere. This won't take long anyway. Let us do this. When Wang Sheng heard the other party calling him a sword beggar, his face was covered in literal dark lines of frustration. The two of them quickly made their way onto the platform. All right, what are we competing in this time? The art of talismans, of course. Little did the arrogant Shi Qianzhang know. He was about to get a major reality check. The battle between Lu Yunji and Shi Qianzhang was on the verge of exploding. Wang Sheng saw that Shi Qianzhang could actually manifest objects out of thin air. He was curious that such miraculous charms existed in the art of talismans. He thought to himself that Lu Yunji had trained since childhood, and with his sect's full support, it was not strange for him to be at the mid-spirit gathering stage. But that guy Shi Qianzhang has actually reached the late spirit gathering stage. It seems if it is not his insane natural talent, then the Longhu Mountain heritage must have some extraordinary secrets. Lu Yunji raised his precious sword high. Instantly, several talismans flew into the clouds. Following that, several bolts of lightning struck down at Shi Qianzhang. However, Shi Qianzhang casually dodged them with his hands in his pockets. Immediately after, Shi Qianzhang pulled out 2 talismans. They transformed into a snake and a crane, flying towards Lu Yunji. At the same time, he began to provoke him. I have been meaning to ask you something. What would you look like in a dress? How about I just call you Little Sister Lu from now on? Lu Yunji simply sliced the summons in half with a single sword strike. With a snap of Shi Qianzhang's fingers, several elemental attacks launched at Lu Yunji. If you can force me to use a talisman worth more than $100 today, I will consider it my loss. All right. Shut up. Talismans swirled around Lu Yunji, forming a golden protective shield that blocked all attacks. Seeing this, Shi Qianzhang threw 2 black talismans. The black talismans turned into countless black butterflies, instantly enveloping Lu Yunji. Lu Yunji pressed his palms together. A burst of golden light exploded instantly, wiping out all the black butterflies. Below the stage, Wang Sheng witnessed this. He said in surprise, that Daoist robe is actually a magical artifact. Senior sister's eyes were glowing with excitement. She looked like she was about to go and snatch that robe for herself. Entrusting a 1,000-year-old heirloom artifact to a spirit-gathering disciple. Maoshan is truly shameless. But then again, the old geezers at our Longhu Mountain are pretty shameless too. Shi Qianzhang then pulled a crescent-shaped magical artifact from his pocket. Looking at the artifact in Shi Qianzhang's hand, Lu Yunji did not know what it did, so he decided to strike first to gain the upper hand. In an instant, a massive beam of golden light smashed toward Shi Qianzhang. Shi Qianzhang dodged the attack once again. Then he was seen placing a crescent moon symbol on his forehead, as if he were possessed by Judge Bao himself. A transparent giant glass-like shield rose around him, blocking all incoming attacks. Several black talismans then manifested in front of him, and flew straight toward Lu Yunji. Seeing this, Lu Yunji activated his Dharma robe to generate a golden protective shield, but as the black talismans reached the shield, they suddenly sprayed out a blood-red liquid. Immediately, someone from the Mount Mao faction shouted in anger, "Holy crap, you are even using Black Dog's blood now. Do you have no shame at all?" It did not take long before Lu Yunji's defense was shattered. I lost. Wang Sheng sighed, thinking that the successor of Wudang Mountain was indeed extraordinary. Shi Qianzhong is more than just extraordinary. Uncle Master, you know about him. I have heard of him. He went to Wudang Mountain to practice the Tao 5 or 6 years ago. Even before the world's essence Qi returned, he had already mastered basic talisman arts. After the essence Qi returned, he understood both volumes of the Wudang Mountain talisman scriptures in a very short time. At such a young age, he has already created dozens of his own talisman techniques. He is now the top talent among the younger generation of Wudang Mountain, being personally mentored by the great celestial master of Wudang Mountain. His future is truly limitless. After hearing his uncle master's words, Wang Sheng could not help but feel puzzled. Since Shi Qianzhong has such potential, why had I never heard of him in my previous life? Could it be that he encountered some catastrophe and met an untimely end? Otherwise, with that mouth of his and his flashy personality, how could he have remained unknown? Just then, Shi Qianzhong shouted, "Hey, young man with the sword from Wudang Mountain, how about we have a little sparring session?" In an instant, everyone's eyes were fixed on Wang Sheng. Wang Sheng was momentarily stunned. He immediately remembered that his master had told him to keep a low profile, but seeing the expectant looks from everyone, Wang Sheng decided to let it go. If he backed down without a fight, it would probably leave Wudang with a reputation for being cowardly. Fine. With that thought, Wang Sheng stood up. "Senior brother Yinglong, may I borrow your sword for a moment?" His senior sister, Mu Shixuan, grabbed the corner of Wang Sheng's clothes with a worried look. Wang Sheng gently held her hand. "Don't worry, senior sister." Her face instantly turned bright red. She then clenched her fist to cheer Wang Sheng on. After Wang Sheng stepped onto the stage and introduced himself, Shi Qianzhong actually asked Wang Sheng for his senior sister's contact information. Seeing that Wang Sheng was ignoring him, he added, "How about we make a bet? When you lose in a bit, you have to give me your senior sister's contact info." Wang Sheng was now absolutely fuming. Without wasting any more words, he simply said, "Let us talk after the fight." Shi Qianzhong struck first with a barrage of talismans, but Wang Sheng easily dodged every single one of them. Next, Wang Sheng used the 7-star footwork, and in a flash, he was right in front of Shi Qianzhong. No matter how Shi Qianzhong tried to dodge, he could not shake Wang Sheng off. In the next second, Wang Sheng drew the sword and pointed it directly at Shi Qianzhong's throat. Shi Qianzhong instantly chickened out. "Whoa, big brother, do not get excited. I swear I have no improper thoughts about our senior sister." Seeing the winner was decided, Wang Sheng sheathed his sword and prepared to leave. To his surprise, Shi Qianzhong was a sore loser. He demanded another round, threatening to go to Wudang Mountain every day to challenge him if he did not. Wang Sheng was momentarily speechless. I have seen shameless people before, but this is a new low. I have never seen someone so shameless and thick-skinned. Even the audience below could not bear to watch any longer. They started shouting for Shi Qianzhong to get off the stage. Left with no choice, Wang Sheng had to accept the challenge. Since that is the case, I will let him go all out first, then pour a bucket of cold water on his parade. I will let him experience the true meaning of despair. To make sure Shi Qianzhong was utterly defeated and had no excuses, Wang Sheng gave him plenty of time to stack his buffs. Once Shi Qianzhong was fully prepared, he unleashed his strongest current attack at Wang Sheng. However, with just a casual flick of his sword, Wang Sheng dismantled every single attack. Shi Qianzhong was instantly dumbfounded. Subconsciously, he tried to raise an earth wall for defense, but how could Wang Sheng let him keep posing? With a direct strike of his sword, he destroyed all of Shi Qianzhong's talisman bags. The members of the other sects were shocked. Was that externalized sword chi just now? Just how old is that youth? Meanwhile, Wang Sheng looked at the broken sword in his hand with a face full of regret. I did not expect this. Even senior brother Zhou's sword could not withstand my essence soul power. He then cupped his hands toward Shi Qianzhong. Fellow Daoist Qianzhong, thank you for the match. He then turned around and walked off the stage, heading straight toward his senior sister. Senior sister, I won. Senior sister immediately responded with an excited emoji. Wang Sheng gave an embarrassed smile. He thought to himself that he might have flexed a bit too hard today, but since I will be cultivating in seclusion in the mountains after this, it should be fine, right? Just then, senior sister suddenly shielded Wang Sheng behind her. They saw Shi Qianzhong walking over with a gloomy face, clutching his ruined talisman bags. Wang Sheng patted senior sister on the shoulder. Everyone, let me handle this. Wang Sheng slowly walked up to Shi Qianzhang. Fellow Daoist, is there something else? Shi Qianzhang grit his teeth hard. In a flash, he rushed right in front of Wang Sheng. Just as everyone thought he was going to start a fight, this guy unexpectedly burst into tears. Brother Sheng, couldn't you have just slashed me directly? Why did you have to go for my talismans? Everyone was instantly stunned by his clownish behavior. They listened as he continued his tearful rant. These black talisman materials are crazy expensive. A full set cost me 30,000. Shut up. A large foot suddenly kicked the guy flying. That is enough. Stop embarrassing yourself here. Go back and have the sect replenish your materials twofold. When Shi Qianzhang saw his martial uncle arrive, he immediately behaved himself. Then, Qianzhang's martial uncle dragged the fellow away. While being dragged, he shouted, Brother Sheng, do not leave after the event. Let us add each other on WeChat. Let us grab a meal together later. Wang Sheng had truly witnessed the full extent of this guy's rascality. He covered his face, utterly speechless, because Wang Sheng's appearance had completely dominated the scene. The rest of the Wudang assembly proceeded smoothly. After the assembly ended, Wang Sheng's group prepared to head down the mountain. However, before they could even leave the venue, they heard a voice calling from the distance. Brother Sheng, wait a moment, Brother Sheng. As soon as Wang Sheng heard that voice, he shivered all over. He gave a stiff smile and asked what he wanted. Shi Qianzhang held up his phone with an excited face. Add me as a friend. We agreed on this earlier. Wang Sheng had no choice but to helplessly add him. Shi Qianzhang did not stand on ceremony either, and insisted on going down the mountain with Wang Sheng. He wanted to take this chance to have a good chat with Wang Sheng. I am down for a chat, but I definitely can't afford to pay you back for those talismans. Shi Qianzhang just stood there with a mischievous grin on his face. No worries at all. Back then, I just wanted my uncle master to help me get some materials. So I might have inflated the numbers a little bit. Those talismans only cost a few $1,000 to make. Wang Sheng broke into a cold sweat again after hearing that. You are ruthless. Just then, Lu Yunji appeared out of nowhere and walked over. Thanks to you teaching this rascal a lesson today, fellow Daoist. It really gave me a sense of peace. I simply had to catch up to express my gratitude. You are too kind, Brother Lu. Who would have thought these two rivals would start bickering the moment they met? Seeing how they could not stand each other, Wang Sheng hurriedly stepped in to play peacemaker. He invited them both to grab a bite to eat at the foot of the mountain. Tonight's dinner is on me. Once they entered the private room at the restaurant, the group quickly warmed up to each other. At the same time, Wang Sheng learned about the history of this frenemy duo. It turns out that a few years ago, when Lu Yunji went to Longhu Mountain for training, he was sucker-punched and robbed by Shi Qianzhang. That is how their grudge began. Later, once his cultivation had improved slightly, he tried to get revenge but was repeatedly thwarted, and that led to the scene at today's conference. Meanwhile, in another location, a woman was staring at countless massive screens in front of her, and what was playing on them were the combat recordings from this very conference. Right then, a staff member said excitedly, Chief, look at this. Wang Sheng's battle footage appeared on the screen. Everyone who saw Wang Sheng's moves was stunned, wondering if such swordplay only existed in TV shows. Who is he? The subordinate replied immediately. His name is Wang Sheng, Daoist name Feiyu. According to the intel we intercepted and organized, his master's Daoist name is Qingyanzi. It is said that his cultivation is already above the core formation stage. At that moment, a photo of Qingyanzi appeared on the big screen. The teacup in the chief's hand instantly crashed to the floor. Who did you say his master is? Anyway, after the exchange conference ended, Wang Sheng first took his senior sister home to visit his parents. This made the old couple so excited. They almost pulled out the wedding dowry right then and there. Brother Sheng, but at night he was constantly harassed by a certain someone. Brother Sheng, but at night he was constantly harassed by a certain someone. It made Wang Sheng go absolutely ballistic. Finally, the two of them returned to Wudang, but when they saw their master, he walked up and immediately began questioning them sternly. Regarding this trip to Mount Mao, did not I tell you guys to keep a low profile? Senior sister was instantly startled by master's tone, and she quickly hid behind Wang Sheng. Wang Sheng was just about to frantically explain to his master, when suddenly, master burst out laughing. He put his hand on Wang Sheng's shoulder. Well done. Even though we are just guests on Wudang Mountain, and do not belong to the great emperor Zhenwu's lineage, we are still considered cultivators of Wudang. You did not embarrass your master this time, but from now on you need to settle your minds quickly, and continue your cultivation in the mountains in peace. Then he mentioned that Uncle Lee had sent a bunch of stuff yesterday, and there were 2 quite decent items in there. Consider them a reward for your trip. After saying that, he went to the Taiji Palace to discuss matters. Looking at his master's departing figure, Wang Sheng could not help but be surprised. It has only been a few days. How does it feel like Master is about to have another breakthrough? When the 2 of them went inside and saw the gifts prepared for them, Wang Sheng was overjoyed. It seemed Uncle Lee had clearly put a lot of thought into these gifts. Wang Sheng immediately picked up the sword to test it. He could feel instantly that this weapon was specifically forged for a sword cultivator. It may be a treasure, but it is not exactly top tier. Still, as a reward for this Maoshan trip, it is more than acceptable. After getting a feel for it, Wang Sheng happily takes the sword inside to show his senior sister. When Mu Shixuan takes the sword and senses its energy, she simply shakes her head. Wang Sheng knows she is worried this sword's aura might cloud his Dao heart. He immediately assures her he won't use it for senseless killing. At that moment, senior sister pulls a jade pendant from a box and hands it to him. Wang Sheng quickly waves it off. Senior sister, I already have this sword. This soul-calming jade pendant is obviously meant for you. Senior sister hits him with an I am the boss around here, look. Seeing Wang Sheng keep refusing, she immediately puts on a pitiful face, looking like she is on the verge of tears. Wang Sheng can't handle that at all. He tells her, senior sister, wait for me a moment, and then dashes off like a bolt of lightning. Before long, Wang Sheng walks back in with one hand behind his back. Blushing furiously, he pulls out a bamboo flute and hands it to her. He originally intended to save it for her birthday, but decides to give it to her now. Senior sister, if you are giving me something, then you have to accept my gift too. Mu Shixuan takes the flute with a look of pure excitement. Once everything is settled, Wang Sheng and his senior sister resume their normal cultivation life. But they have not even been back on the mountain for a month before Uncle Master Li arrives at the courtyard looking distressed. Senior brother Qing Yanzi, evil ghosts are harming people. I beg you, senior brother, please help. The moment senior sister hears the word ghosts, her face turns pale with fear. That night, when Wang Sheng wakes up, he realizes senior sister has somehow crawled onto his bed. Wang Sheng jolts upright, wide awake. Senior sister wakes up too, her face flushed red. She points trembling fingers toward the window. Wang Sheng hears the howling wind outside, and realizes she was spooked by the noise. With Wang Sheng's comforting words, senior sister soon falls back into a peaceful sleep. Wang Sheng thinks back to how she reacted today when ghost hunting was mentioned. The moment she heard it, she immediately hid behind Wang Sheng in terror. Who would have thought a cultivator of the core formation stage would actually be afraid of ghosts? Then he remembers Master telling him that back then, to get her to speak, he tried shock therapy using ghost stories. It nearly made her withdraw into herself completely, and left her with this chronic fear of ghosts. Looking at his sleeping senior sister, he realizes that comforting her when she is scared is part of his duty as her junior brother. The next day, senior brother Yinglong is speechless when he sees Wang Sheng's gear. Wang Sheng has brought everything from crucifixes to Buddha statues. Wang Sheng simply says it is better to be safe than sorry. What if it is a foreign ghost? In truth, Wang Sheng is quite helpless too. This is all the result of his senior sister's overwhelming concern. How could he possibly dare to throw them away? Upon arriving at the destination, the duo realizes this is actually Uncle Master Li's secular home. The homeowner is his older brother, Li Shixuan. Uncle Master soon sets up the altar for the ritual. May the gods protect us, clear the heavens and brighten the earth. Dharma protectors, make haste and banish the evil spirits from this place. As soon as he speaks, Wang Sheng and senior brother Ying Long move to their positions. Before the exorcism, Uncle Master had already discussed the plan. The opening act is just for show. Wang Sheng and senior brother Ying Long are the actual muscle doing the real ghost hunting. This arrangement was made mostly because laypeople's understanding of Daoists is stuck in old movies. So, while the disciples do the heavy lifting, the credit and prestige must go to the old master. When Wang Sheng opened a room door, he witnessed an unbelievable sight right at the entrance. As expected, something is fishy. The moment Wang Sheng pushed the door open, dozens of ghosts lunged straight at his face. Seeing this, Wang Sheng immediately channeled his 3 purities Daoist arts. In an instant, he dispelled all the spirits into thin air. A moment later, Wang Sheng met senior brother Ying Long in the courtyard. The two of them recounted what they had encountered, only to find that their experiences were almost identical. That is strange. Could it be that the feng shui arrangement backfired? Senior brother Ying Long seemed to have realized something. Just as he was about to speak, Wang Sheng cut him off. Careful, the walls have ears. They decided to regroup with their martial uncle first. This place is essentially martial uncle's home. If someone is truly playing tricks, we can't just sit idly by and watch. Meanwhile, martial uncle Li had been performing his ritual for quite some time. He was wondering why they had not returned after so long. Are these two youngsters actually reliable or what? Finally, after what felt like an eternity for martial uncle Li, the two returned. Martial uncle Li let out a long sigh of relief. He immediately asked his elder brother brother to prepare a quiet room. Once the three of them entered the quiet room, they explained the situation and shared their suspicions with Martial Uncle. Upon hearing this, Martial Uncle Li felt it was quite a thorny issue. As for Wang Sheng, who had lived through 2 lifetimes, he was naturally aware of the dark side of the cultivation world. He suspected that today's events might be due to the Li family's fortune attracting the greed of some evil cultivators. Or perhaps Li Shishan had offended someone, provoking an evil cultivator to seek revenge. At this point, Martial Uncle Li could only turn to Wang Sheng for help. Feiyu, in your opinion, what should we do? After pondering for a moment, Wang Sheng replied, "We will do this first, and then do that." Half an hour later, Martial Uncle Li was strolling in the courtyard with his elder brother. He asked if his brother had crossed anyone in recent years, but his brother insisted he had just stayed at home, and had not offended anyone at all. Meanwhile, sitting inside the house, Wang Sheng was circulating his true essence to his ears to eavesdrop on their conversation. From their dialogue, he learned that the Li family might have done something unethical in the past. The manners feng shui, Martial Uncle joining the priesthood. These all seemed to be events from over a decade ago. Could there be a connection between these incidents? Before long, Martial Uncle Li bid farewell to his brother, claiming he had to return to the mountain. But in reality, they were playing a game of waiting for the rabbit by setting an ambush. The two of them waited until midnight. That is when the yang energy is at its weakest, and when evil cultivators who raise ghosts are most confident. Based on Wang Sheng's observations during the day, Li Shishan's estate is massive, with maids and security guards everywhere. Plus, there is a complete surveillance system covering every blind spot. Even so, the two of them had dispelled nearly 80 ghosts today. This clearly was not something that could be achieved in just a day or two. Therefore, the culprit releasing the ghosts is likely an insider. That is why they feigned leaving during the day, only to return at night to catch the perp red-handed. At this moment, Wang Sheng was sitting cross-legged, releasing his spiritual sense. In a flash, it covered the entire Li family estate. Beside him, senior brother Yinglong felt the power of Wang Sheng's spiritual sense. He could not help but sigh at his own inferiority. He then began to act as a guardian for Wang Sheng. Not long after, Wang Sheng detected someone slowly approaching Li Shishan's bedroom. Outside the bedroom, a man dressed as a security guard pulled a small cauldron from his pocket. He bit his thumb, dripping fresh blood onto the small cauldron. A cloud of green mist drifted out from within the cauldron. It soon transformed into a massive malevolent ghost with fangs and sharp claws. The entity manifested as a giant demon, ready to strike. The security guard, holding the cauldron, slowly walked to the bedroom door. The evil ghost raised its sharp claws and smashed toward the door. But suddenly, the door erupted with a brilliant, intense, golden light. The ghost let out a piercing shriek of pain. The security guard was also startled. A Wudang talisman. Li Shishan really did come prepared with defenses. Talismans might keep ghosts at bay, but can they stop a living person like me? Having said that, he stepped forward to push open the main gate. Just then, Wang Sheng swung his sword down at the guard. That guard clearly had some skills up his sleeve. At the critical moment, he actually managed to dodge the strike. Meanwhile, the evil ghost appeared behind Wang Sheng. It raised its fist and smashed it down toward him. However, it only struck Wang Sheng's afterimage. Wang Sheng reappeared in front of the ghost and slashed right at its neck. But all that could be heard was the clanging of metal on stone. To his surprise, the ghost's entire body was covered in scales. Ordinary attacks could not leave so much as a scratch on it. While locked in combat with the ghost, Wang Sheng realized the guard had vanished. He cursed under his breath, crap. He immediately broke off from the ghost. He flew straight toward the second floor. Just as the guard was about to deliver a fatal blow to Li Shishan, Wang Sheng successfully intervened and saved the old man again. A Wudang disciple. Don't poke your nose where it does not belong. Using ghosts to harm people, and deluding the world with sorcery. You deserve to be cut down. The two of them immediately became locked in a fierce struggle. But the guard began chanting an incantation. He summoned the ghost over, seeking a chance to kill Li Shishan. Wang Sheng appeared before the ghost again and forced it back. I sensed something was wrong earlier and rushed over first. Senior brother Yinglong should have noticed too, and be on his way. If that is the case, then before my senior brother arrives, I will just have to hold off this man and his ghost myself. Seeing that Wang Sheng refused to back down, the evil cultivator commanded the evil ghost to pounce on him. Wang Sheng used his 7-star footwork to dance around the ghost. Finally, Wang Sheng spotted an opening. He gathered his spiritual essence into his blade. He swung the sword down hard upon the ghost. The ghost was cleaved clean in half. Simultaneously, the small tripod in the evil cultivator's hand shattered. He instantly coughed up a mouthful of fresh blood. As the ghost collapsed, the evil cultivator fell straight to his knees. In the next second, the evil cultivator actually sacrificed his own life force. The ghost's arms sprouted several sharp horns, Its entire body became even more massive than before. Seeing this, Wang Sheng thought to himself, how many living souls did this wicked man use to refine such a ferocious entity? At that moment, senior brother Zhou finally arrived. Hearing him, Wang Sheng grabbed Old Man Li and jumped out. He then tossed Old Man Li towards senior brother Zhou. Protect Layman Li. Get the Li family away from here. Unfortunately, the Wen Yuan sword is not exactly a ghost-slaying artifact. It is not very effective against this kind of spirit. It is not as useful as the talismans Shi Qianzhang and Lu Yunji use. Thinking of this, Wang Sheng suddenly had an idea. Senior brother, master's talismans. Zhou Yinglong caught on immediately. Old Man Li also ordered his men to bring over all the posted talismans. Since I can't cut you down in one go, then I will just wear you down to nothing. He immediately deployed the 7-star sword formation to trap the ghost, using incantations to drain its soul power, and the sword formation to bind its form. Meanwhile, Zhou Yinglong tossed the bag of talismans to Wang Sheng. He immediately hurled the talismans at the ghost. As the talismans struck the ghost's body, golden flames erupted all over it. A series of agonizing screams followed. Seeing it work, Wang Sheng felt even more determined to exorcise the spirit. While Wang Sheng was battling the ghost, a group of special police arrived on the scene. Wang Sheng immediately shouted for Zhou Yinglong to stop them. Don't let them get mixed up in this. Just give me 15 more minutes. This thing won't hold up for much longer. Just then, Old Man Li shouted to the police that there was a ghost, but the police did not believe him at all. How could ghosts possibly exist in this world? Zhou Yinglong then appeared before the police, trying to block their path. However, they dismissed him as nothing more than a traveling con artist. Thinking he was just swindling the old man, the officer waved his hand, signaling his men to barge in. Zhou Yinglong flashed in front of the officer again, attempting to stop him. To his surprise, the officer drew his sidearm directly. He pressed the barrel right against Zhou Yinglong's forehead. Then he ordered his men to cuff him. Seeing that he could not hold them back, Zhou Yinglong thought, fine, so be it. He would let them through to see the truth for themselves. But when they entered the courtyard, they were instantly paralyzed with fear by the sight. They screamed in terror, there really is a ghost. The evil ghost, noticing the intruders, snatched up a huge boulder and hurled it straight at them. At the critical moment, Zhou Yinglong broke free from his restraints just in time. He dashed in front of the crowd, successfully pushing the giant rock aside and saving them. Officers, this vengeful ghost is highly volatile. I urge you not to act rashly and provoke it further. The police officer was now completely rattled. He ordered his subordinates to assist Wang Sheng by opening fire on the ghost. Senior brother Zhou immediately intervened to stop him. Wait. Ordinary bullets won't hurt a vengeful ghost. It will only trigger its bloodlust. Ghosts are of the yin nature. To banish it, we must find something with potent yang energy. He immediately asked if they could get some rooster blood, preferably from a black-boned chicken. Meanwhile, on Wang Sheng's side, he had exhausted all his talismans in no time. Just then, senior brother Zhou arrived with the chicken blood and threw it directly at the evil ghost. As soon as the blood splashed onto the ghost, its hardened skin seemed to melt almost instantly, dissolving into plumes of thick green mist. Wounded, the evil ghost's ferocity was fully unleashed. Its rage was drawn toward Zhou Yinglong's position. Seeing the evil ghost lunging at him, Zhou Yinglong unleashed his most powerful technique. He actually manifested the Dharma image of the great Emperor Zhenwu. He successfully blocked the ghost's strike and sent it flying back. However, the impact also sent him reeling backward quite a distance. Seeing the opening, Wang Sheng prepared the most lethal offensive from the 7-star sword formation. It was the strongest sword technique he could perform at his current level. He struck out with everything he had. Once the combo was complete, 7 streaks of sword intent erupted simultaneously within the evil ghost's body. In an instant, intense starlight burst forth from the creature. The evil ghost vanished into thin air within that starlight. Wang Sheng, utterly exhausted, collapsed and fainted on the spot. He was not unconscious for long. Soon, Wang Sheng woke up. After a brief moment of rhythmic breathing to regulate his qi, his condition gradually stabilized. He had gained a lot from this battle. He now stood at the very threshold of the core formation realm. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. When he opened it, he found 2 strangers standing there. Gentlemen, can I help you? They claimed to be from the Special Investigation Task Force, sent specifically to handle the ghost attack incident. The 2 of them stated their purpose clearly. They said their team leader wanted to have a word with Wang Sheng. Then they handed a phone to Wang Sheng. Please wait a moment. Someone will initiate a video call with you shortly. Sure enough, a video call came through a moment later. But when Wang Sheng answered and saw the person on the screen, he blurted out in shock, "Master's wife." Looking at the woman in the video, Wang Sheng could not help but fall into deep thought. He remembered the Double Ninth Festival during his first year on the mountain. Master had a bit too much to drink. He told Wang Sheng that he was once in love with a woman. However, their relationship was opposed by the Grand Master. Master had intended to plead with his own master, but the woman had a fiery, stubborn temperament. She disappeared without a trace for over a decade. decade. It was not until 2 years ago, when she sent 2 photos to Master through a contact, that he realized Master actually had a child around his own age. Wang Sheng recognized her at once. She was the Master's wife from the photograph. Wang Sheng called out tentatively, "Master's wife." The woman in the video gave a soft sigh. "You can just call me Auntie. You can just call me Auntie. You can just call me Auntie. There is something I would like to ask of you. Could you pass a message to your master for me? Tell him that if he still cares about his daughter, he should come and see me as soon as possible." Wang Sheng immediately suspected what was going on. Master's wife, is junior sister being harassed by some cultivators? He took out his phone to call his master. At the same time, he switched it to speakerphone. He thought that if the 2 of them could just talk directly, Master would surely find a way to win back her heart, right? But when the call went through, the only response was that the person was temporarily unavailable. Wang Sheng hurriedly explained to the Master's wife, "Maybe the signal is just bad on Master's end. I will contact senior sister right away. And have her send the video over in a bit." He then asked where Master had gone. Senior sister replied that she did not know either. Master had simply left a letter and vanished. When he saw the note Master left behind, Wang Sheng was utterly speechless. The timing of this breakthrough is a bit too convenient, is not it? Master, you are really destined to be single forever. So, Wang Sheng explained the whole situation to senior sister. After a long while, Wang Sheng pushed the door open and stepped out. He stated directly that senior sister would also participate in this mission. "Let us head back to Wudang Mountain to pick her up first. Master's wife and daughter are in trouble. Senior sister naturally won't just sit idly by. This time, no matter how dangerous it is. I will bring junior sister back." Just as Wang Sheng and the others were preparing to leave, the girl with glasses received some news. The security guard who tried to kill them earlier was dead. When Wang Sheng saw the state of the guard's body in the photo, a thought immediately flashed through his mind. When he saw the mark on the man's arm, his inner suspicions were finally confirmed. This person belonged to the Yin-Yang sect, the very organization of evil cultivators that almost upended the entire world in his past life. The next day, Wang Sheng successfully picked up his senior sister. Wang Sheng explained to her that these people were subordinates of the master's wife. They are not bad guys. In the car, Wang Sheng also learned about the background of the Special Investigation Task Force. In ancient times, martial arts were used to defy authority. Immortals used their magic to turn the world upside down. Now that the era of cultivation is rising again, the secular world naturally needs a specialized organization to maintain order. The Special Investigation Task Force, led by the master's wife, is one of the specialized departments established by the Great Wa country for the cultivation world. They are responsible for monitoring cultivators and mediating conflicts between the cultivation world and secular society. Soon, the 2 of them arrived at their destination. It was the university where junior sister was studying. According to the intel, some cultivators had infiltrated the campus. They were spreading cultivation techniques in a manner similar to a pyramid scheme. Junior sister was one of the many students who had been drawn in. The world's essence chi has only just begun to recover. To the outside world, cultivation is still a secret. Promoting cultivation so openly at this time, it is hard to believe they do not have an ulterior motive. And Wang Sheng's mission was to go undercover as an exchange student couple with his senior sister. They had to track down the cultivator's location and rescue junior sister. According to the original plan, they were to create an opportunity for senior sister to strike up a conversation with junior sister. That way, they could slowly get close to her. But when they arrived at the cafeteria to put the plan into action, senior sister froze up. When Wang Sheng saw junior sister, he was shocked to find that true essence was already manifesting in her body. And this kind of true essence was very similar to what he had cultivated using low-grade techniques in his past life. He realized instantly that things were not as simple as they seemed. He decided then and there to change the plan. "I will try to approach the junior sister myself first." Once the senior sister heard, she did not have to strike up the conversation. She immediately breathed a sigh of relief. Wang Sheng slowly approached the little junior sister. Just as he was about to start a conversation, he suddenly heard someone behind him calling his name. Startled, his phone slipped right out of his hand and hit the ground. When he saw clearly who it was, it turned out to be his upperclassman from before. The next second, the excited girl threw herself into Wang Sheng's arms. Seeing this, senior sister almost blew a fuse. In his past life, this girl had ended up disabled due to a car accident. After his reincarnation, Wang Sheng helped her avoid that tragedy. Wang Sheng placed his hand on her shoulder. While greeting her casually, he was secretly checking for any spiritual chi within her body. Finding no trace of spiritual chi, it seemed she had nothing to do with the little junior sister's situation. Then, The little junior sister picked up Wang Sheng's phone and handed it to him. Wang Sheng thanked her repeatedly. He even asked for her WeChat, offering to treat her to a meal as a thank you. But the little junior sister turned him down flat. Seeing this whole display, the upperclassman suspected he dropped the phone on purpose just to hit on the girl. Wang Sheng quickly changed the subject. He then introduced his girlfriend to the upperclassman. However, senior sister was now looking at Wang Sheng with a death stare. Wang Sheng instantly read her expression. He began to panic internally. Soon, Wang Sheng explained the reason for his presence there, briefly to the upperclassman. He asked if anyone had invited her to join any strange clubs lately. This reminded her of a poster she had once seen. She immediately sent a photo of it to Wang Sheng. Wang Sheng finally secured a preliminary clue. He told her to act as if they never met, and then made his departure. That night, Wang Sheng and Mu Shixuan were perched on a large tree, observing the distance. Far off, a group of people stood in a circle around a blonde-haired guy, listening to their conversation. Wang Sheng was left speechless. Are they preaching the Tao or running a pyramid scheme? The leader indeed possesses a cultivation base. If they are merely practicing, then they are not breaking any rules. Better send the photos to Mo Yu first. Let the task force investigate them. Suddenly, senior sister turned her head away in disgust. Confused, Wang Sheng looked in the direction she had been pointing. That blonde guy was saying something to a girl. When Wang Sheng heard what was being said, his face instantly darkened with frustration. Using cultivation to force a girl into bed, seriously. He told senior sister to keep watch here, while he went to check things out. The blonde guy led the girl into a small alleyway. Just as he was about to force himself on her, an old man stepped out with a face full of rage. The blonde guy quickly tried to explain, claiming she was just a girl he started dating. Right then, Wang Sheng caught up. Who would have thought that the Super Spirit Club acts so sleazy behind closed doors? The elder was shocked. Who is this? The old man tried to pull out a talisman to attack, but in a mere blink, Wang Sheng knocked him out cold. Seeing his uncle, a spirit-gathering stage expert, getting one-shotted, the blonde guy turned tail and bolted. A second later, Wang Sheng appeared behind him. He pressed his sword against the guy's neck. Now tell me, where is your hideout? The next morning, Wang Sheng arrived at a certain courtyard, facing the elders inside the house. Wang Sheng strolled in casually. Elders of the Super Spirit Club, good morning to you all. The group immediately launched an attack on Wang Sheng, but they were no match for him. Without breaking a sweat, Wang Sheng took down all four of them. Not long after, Mo Yu gave Wang Sheng a call. They said these people have all confessed. The founder of the Super Spiritual Society calls himself the Holy Fire Bearer. They hired over a dozen rogue cultivators to serve as Dharma protectors. They have already made quite a name for themselves in the cultivation world. And because our junior sister comes from a wealthy family, she is treated like a little leader, basically their lucky mascot. Wang Sheng could not help but wonder, what could a criminal gang with a cultivation background possibly be after? Could it be that they just want to expand their influence, simply to rake in more cash? Just as Wang Sheng was lost in thought, a finger suddenly poked him right in the face. It was none other than Mu Shixuan. Since she was not allowed to join the fight, she was wearing a very huffy expression, but Wang Sheng managed to win her over instantly with some snacks. Senior sister, it is time we go find our junior sister. When the two of them explained the situation to her, she did not believe a single word of it. Her father had been dead for 20 years. Where would a disciple suddenly come from? But when she saw the photos and the video her mother had recorded, the reality of it was too much for her to handle. She covered her face and burst into tears. Beside her, Mu Shixuan started to panic. She had absolutely no idea how to comfort someone. But right at that moment, a crossbow was aimed at the junior sister from a distance. With a thwack, a bolt was fired right at her. Mu Shixuan easily intercepted the strike. Seeing the assailant flee, Wang Sheng gave chase immediately. He did not forget to tell senior sister to protect junior sister. At the same time, he reported the situation to the Special Investigation Task Force. Kai Ling immediately ordered all campus exits to be sealed off. Wang Sheng caught up in no time. With a single blow, he knocked the opponent to the ground. As soon as she scrambled back up, several poison needles were shot toward Wang Sheng. With a casual wave of his hand, Wang Sheng swatted them all away. He saw her quickly swallow a medicinal pill. Pills and poisons that can temporarily paralyze a half-step core formation stage. This woman is no small fry. I must capture her and dig up some intel. He instantly flickered behind the woman and grabbed her by the neck in one swift motion. A dealer of deadly poisons like you cannot be left with your power. A surge of fierce true essence flooded into her body, rushing through her meridians, instantly shattering them all. Her cultivation was completely crippled. I will leave the rest to Sir Nuong. But just then, Wang Sheng suddenly sensed a wave of baleful aura. Two masked men, one tall and one short, slowly walked over. Hey there, young man. That woman stole something that belongs to us. Could you hand her over to us? We will make it worth your while. Wang Sheng immediately noticed the tattoo on the man's neck. The Yin-Yang sect. He immediately blocked them with his left hand. No way. The short man did not expect Wang Sheng's reply to be so blunt. He let out a cold, hollow laugh. A faint murderous intent flickered in his eyes. Do you have any idea that you have just provoked the last enemies you would ever want to cross? As soon as he finished speaking, the baleful aura on the tall man condensed into a blade, slashing down at Wang Sheng from a distance. Wang Sheng merely gave a soft HMPH. A sharp burst of sword intent instantly gathered before him, shattering the baleful aura directly. When I say no, I mean no. Seeing Wang Sheng dispel the aura so effortlessly, the tall man suddenly grew interested. He plunged his blade into the ground and charged forward with his bare fists. For a moment, the two of them were locked in a fierce, even struggle. Just as the fight was reaching its peak, Wang Sheng's peripheral vision suddenly locked onto the short man. He instantly cursed under his breath, oh no. He first feinted a fierce attack toward the tall, lanky man. Just as the opponent was channeling energy for a powerful strike, Wang Sheng's figure suddenly darted sideways, charging straight at the short man instead. The short man hurriedly swung his palm to block the blow, but the impact sent him flying a great distance. Wang Sheng watched the two of them silently. To have experts at the core formation stage, even at the foundation level, the Yin-Yang sect's strength is truly extraordinary. But this woman is a vital clue in investigating the super spirit society. I can't let her die here. The tall man raised his left hand and made a light grasping motion. The tang sword flew rapidly through the air, returning directly into his hand. With just a single slash of the blade, the malevolent energy transformed into several giant serpent heads, lunging at Wang Sheng. While Wang Sheng was busy evading the tall man's assault, another attack suddenly struck him from the flank. The force of the blow sent Wang Sheng tumbling backward. It was the short man launching a sneak attack from the shadows. The tall man was not about to let this opportunity slip by. Catching Wang Sheng mid-breath, he delivered a direct downward cleave. At the critical moment, a branch wrapped in spiritual essence parried the strike. The shock even knocked the sword out of the tall man's hand. Then a nimble palm struck the tall man's chest, instantly sending him flying. It was Mu Shixuan, arriving just in the nick of time. Wang Sheng took the branch Mu Shixuan handed to him. He told her, sister, they are the bad guys. The senior sister replied with a single word, fight. Wang Sheng, branch in hand, resumed the tangled duel with the tall man. Meanwhile, on Mu Shixuan's side, in no time at all, she had beaten the short man until he was spitting blood. Seeing they were no match for her, he immediately called out to the tall man to retreat. Otherwise, they would both be finished today. The tall man unleashed one last desperate strike to push Wang Sheng back, shouted a parting threat, and then vanished into thin air. Mu Shixuan was about to give chase, but Wang Sheng stopped her. Wait, sister. Our priority is to protect our junior sister. Mo Yu has already obtained the intel. The rest of the mission is up to them. Mu Shixuan's face suddenly slumped into a pitiful pout. She said master was definitely going to scold her. Wang Sheng immediately comforted her. Sister, not only did you defeat the enemies, but you also protected our junior sister. You were amazing. Looking at the junior sister, sitting dejectedly in the distance, he hoped that after this intense battle, she would finally see sense. Due to the haunting incident at the Li family home, the Special Investigation Task Force has begun responding to the Yin-Yang sect. Despite this, they still failed to capture those two evil cultivators. They only managed to kill one of them. The female cultivator captured by Wang Sheng is named Yuqi Yu. She was originally an outer disciple of the medicine god, Valley. 6 months ago, she was bribed by the Yin-Yang sect to steal secret manuals. After the plot was exposed, they tried to silence her. Just as she was about to be caught, Yuqi Yu was rescued by the sacred fire bearer. Subsequently, she joined the Super Spirit Society, and that is how the grudge between the two sides began. Last night's scene was a direct result of that. Elsewhere, upon arriving and learning what had transpired, an enraged Kai Ling slapped the junior sister. Tears welled up in her eyes. If those two had not been there, you would be dead by now, do you understand? She was about to strike again, but Wang Sheng quickly stepped in to stop her. Please calm down, madam. Junior sister was just misled by others. Fuming, Kai Ling stormed out of the room. She ordered her subordinates to bring her the interrogation results within 2 hours. Watching the sobbing junior sister, Wang Sheng let out a long helpless sigh. To raise without teaching is the father's fault. Master and Kai Ling are not entirely without blame in this matter. Wang Sheng stepped forward to comfort her. Junior sister, once you have explained everything, you will head back to the mountain with us. It is time you experienced what true cultivation is like. And while we are at it, you can go see your biological father. Soon, the three of them returned to Wudang Mountain. The fellow disciples gave their new junior sister a very warm welcome. Her mood gradually began to brighten up. On the second day after their return, Wang Sheng began his attempt to break through to the embryonic stage. Before long, Wang Sheng heard senior brother Zhou's voice. When he opened the door, the visitors were none other than senior brother Zhou and Daoist master Gao Shixing. Wang Sheng immediately bowed to martial uncle Gao. Martial uncle Gao's purpose today was to check on Wang Sheng's progress and offer him some personal guidance. Wang Sheng could not help but reminisce. Back when he first ascended the mountain, he actually wanted to apprentice under martial uncle Gao. But through a twist of fate, he met his master and senior sister instead. I guess that is just how life goes. Between gaining and losing, there is a certain irony that is hard to put into words, is not there? After watching Wang Sheng demonstrate his swordplay, martial uncle Gao spoke up. Your understanding of the sword Dao is very profound, but our paths are quite different. It would be difficult for me to guide you directly. Since its founding, Wudang has passed down a set of 7-star sword techniques. It has many differences compared to your 7-star sword formation. Watch closely. Martial uncle Gao then began to demonstrate the 7-star sword technique. Watching the technique, Wang Sheng was instantly stunned. It shared common ground with the 7-star sword formation. Yet it was clearly not the same style at all. He truly is a master who has spent decades immersed in the sword Dao. Compared to him, my own understanding is far too shallow. Once martial uncle Gao finished his demonstration, Wang Sheng immediately requested a sparring session for guidance. Let us just call it a friendly exchange. Your current sword cultivation might not even be below mine. Come, let us trade a few blows. From that day on, martial uncle Gao came every few days to spar with Wang Sheng. Their respective sword Daos began to complement and complete one another. Over these few days, Wang Sheng benefited immensely. On this day, while the two were sparring, a voice suddenly echoed from outside the gate. Ha ha ha, you two. Sparring is all well and good, but in such a fierce contest, be careful not to hurt anyone. When martial uncle Gao saw the visitor, he said in surprise, Master, what brings you here? The old man replied jovially, all your martial uncles and brothers are saying that lucky fellow Qing Yanzi picked up a legendary sword talent. I have practiced the sword all my life, so naturally I had to come and see for myself, to appreciate and judge. Wang Sheng immediately bowed to greet his grandmaster, but inside he was far from calm. Martial uncle's master, isn't that the person with the highest seniority on the mountain? The former sect leader. Realizing the visitor was the former sect leader, Wang Sheng hurriedly moved to pay his respects properly. However, the old man put on no airs at all. He simply sat down nearby and told them to continue their match. As Wang Sheng and martial uncle Gao resumed their spar, Grandmaster began to offer constant pointers from the side. The world is inherently void of self. One only finds a square inch of space to dwell, yet the world should contain the self, merging the heart, soul, and spirit within this body. Suddenly, the spiritual energy of heaven and earth surged toward Wang Sheng, pouring into his body through his 7 apertures. At that very moment, he actually broke through to the embryonic stage. Wang Sheng felt the true essence surging relentlessly through his meridians. Is this the embryonic stage? He immediately ignored his surroundings. He sat down cross-legged on his own, and began to consolidate his cultivation realm, preparing himself for the breakthrough to the golden core stage. The Grandmaster looked at Wang Sheng, gathering surges of true essence in his palm, and pressed them directly onto the crown of Wang Sheng's head. The senior uncle saw his master wave a hand at him, and immediately understood that he intended to stay behind to guide Wang Sheng personally. So he took his leave and departed. Withdraw your spiritual thoughts, calm your mind, and focus on the Tao. I have wielded the sword for many years. Today, I shall bestow this path upon you. I hope you will comprehend it well. The 6 realms of the sword Dao. The first 3 are sword form, sword intent, and sword momentum. These are the foundations of the sword Dao. Any sword cultivator who achieves greatness usually masters these 3 steps first, before finding their own progression. The 4th realm, sword kinesis. You must select a sword core, and nourish it day and night with your spiritual intent, to master the art of the flying sword. The 5th realm, heart sword. To discard the blade for the sake of the sword. The physical becomes formless. Sword intent can flow endlessly like a river, or become sharp beyond compare. The 6th realm, sword forging. Using the heart sword as the soul and the Tao as the bone. Once unsheathed, it shall look down upon the whole world. After a long while, Wang Sheng slowly opened his eyes. Sensing the 6 realms of his grandmaster's sword Tao, he realized it might not be the end of the path, but it had illuminated the long road ahead of him. I will have to take my time and experience it. Just as he was about to get up, his grandmaster's voice echoed again. I will gift you a strand of sword intent. Contemplate it well. Wang Sheng was suddenly filled with excitement. Is this a direct transmission of Grandmaster's Tao realm? But then he promptly fainted. Fortunately, Mu Shixuan appeared just in time to catch him. She then carried Wang Sheng into the house in a princess carry. Seeing this, the junior sister excitedly whipped out her phone. Senior sister giving second senior brother a princess carry. This is a rare shot totally legendary. This enlightenment caused Wang Sheng to sleep for an entire day. He never expected that the small gift of sword intent would actually be the yin-yang sword intent. Wang Sheng felt the constant changes the sword intent brought to him. From now on, the sword is my treasure. It is the law by which I protect the Tao, and the pillar upon which I stand between heaven and earth. But his peaceful life was soon disrupted again. Wang Sheng received a call from Mo Yu. A few hours ago, the Holy Fire Cult announced nationwide via the dark web that they are auctioning the first 2 volumes of Wudang's secret talismans. Wang Sheng instinctively asked where he could buy it. How much does it cost? And why only the first 2 volumes? But he immediately realized he had lost his cool. He was not that broke, desperate guy from his past life anymore. What use do I even have for those talismans now? He quickly changed the subject, asking if they had contacted Wudang Mountain yet. We have. Furthermore, we have confirmed the identity of the Holy Fire member, the one called Holy Fire Messenger. He is an outcast from Wudang Mountain. His Daoist name is Qianxing. He once studied under Daoist Master Tianzheng of Wudang Mountain. A year ago, he was caught trying to steal the final volume of the secret talismans. He fled after injuring one of his junior brothers. Wang Sheng immediately had a thought. Could he be Shi Qianzheng's senior brother? Mo Yu wanted Wang Sheng and the others to help stabilize the situation. Wang Sheng thought for a moment. If the masters from various sects show up, I can't even get a word in with my senior sister. Since that is the case, I have no choice but to ask master for help. So Wang Sheng made his way to Wudang Mountain. He asked a Daoist priest for his master's whereabouts, but the priest said he did not know. So he pulled out his phone and asked in the group chat if anyone had seen Xingyanzi. His disciple was here to see him. Soon he found Xingyanzi's location. He was with Daoist priestess Jingyun. Wang Sheng heard this and thought, Daoist priestess Jingyun, a female Daoist. A certain scene immediately flashed through his mind. Why do I get the feeling that my master's wife's situation is giving off some serious green pasture vibes? He quickly arrived at the place where Daoist priestess Jingyun cultivated. Upon entering the courtyard, he sensed his master's aura coming from a cave. It seemed he was in seclusion inside. Just as Wang Sheng reached the cave entrance, Daoist priestess Jingyun walked out. Forming the golden core is an extremely perilous process. You absolutely must not disturb senior brother Qingyanzi right now. She then asked Wang Sheng why he had come looking for his master. After Wang Sheng explained the situation, Daoist priestess Jingyun was indignant. Back then, that sister-in-law Kai Ling just up and left without a word. Senior brother Qingyanzi was heartbroken for her and the child in her womb, and now she wants my senior brother to help her. Where's the justice in that? Wang Sheng was momentarily stunned, looking at martial aunt Jingyun's reaction. Could it be that she has feelings for master? Just then, a massive thundercloud suddenly gathered in the sky. Is this a heavenly tribulation? Has master broken through to the golden core realm? Don't panic. Senior brother's golden core is already formed. Next, he needs to enter a state of post-breakthrough enlightenment. He cannot be disturbed. For now, I am the only one who can go in his place. It is a perfect chance to meet the sister-in-law, Kai Ling. I will ask her why she had to just leave all those years ago and cause senior brother Qingyanzi to be separated from his daughter for 20 years. Wang Sheng felt a wave of helplessness and wanted to complain. This trip, I am afraid it is not going to be a peaceful one. Meanwhile, after Niu Yu picked up Wang Sheng and martial aunt Jingyun, he briefed them on the current situation. Right now, the last few core members of the Super Spirit Society are still nowhere to be found. But according to our intel, an evil cultivator organization is pulling the strings behind the Holy Fire Bearers. For example, the Skyfire sect and the Five God sect. But Wang Sheng was puzzled. Why is there no news about the Yin-Yang sect? The Yin-Yang sect has not shown up. Instead, a large number of experts from the Five God sect have infiltrated the city. They have even declared that they are determined to get the Celestial Master's Talisman Compendium. Wang Sheng could not help but wonder. They are actively drawing fire for the Yin-Yang sect. Are they a bunch of idiots, or what? Afterward, the group went straight to find senior sister. They asked if anything unusual had happened at the university recently. Senior sister showed Wang Sheng the most popular post on the school's forum. Seeing these comments and replies, Wang Sheng realized someone was fanning the flames, and it was highly likely to be the Holy Fire Bearers. What on earth are they trying to do? Just then, martial aunt sensed something amiss to the side. She turned to look and saw an evil cultivator inside a certain hotel. The evil cultivator spotted earlier had brought a young woman before an old man. He was actually about to perform a vile dual cultivation ritual on her. At the critical moment, Wang Sheng and his martial ant burst through the door. Martial ant immediately launched an attack on the old man, and told Wang Sheng not to let a single one escape. As for Wang Sheng, he easily took care of the small fry. Watching his martial ant fight the old man, it seemed that she usually only cultivates on the mountain. She does not have much real combat experience. Right now, she is only suppressing him with her higher cultivation level. If this drags on, there might be trouble. He immediately reminded his martial ant, "Use your full strength to defeat the enemy. No need to hold back." Upon hearing that, the martial uncle struck the old man's chest directly with a single palm. In one hit, he sent the old man flying right out of the window. Who would have thought that the old man would actually unleash a spiritual sense attack? "You ruined my plans. I will wipe out your entire sect. I will kill your whole family. I will humiliate every woman related to you until they die." Little did he know, those words struck Wang Sheng's raw nerve. He raised his sword and chased him out immediately. "I cultivate the Tao and practice the sword, precisely to protect my family. If I can't even do that, then even though I have been reincarnated to live again, what would be the point of it all?" Seeing Wang Sheng chasing after him, the old man immediately gathered his spiritual power and lunged at Wang Sheng. Wang Sheng directly unleashed his strongest strike yet. His sword pierced right through the old man's chest. With a thunderous boom, they crashed straight onto the ground. As the smoke and dust cleared, the old man was already stone cold dead, but Wang Sheng was slumped on the ground, both his legs covered in blood. He looked despondently at the broken sword in his hand. He muttered a soft, "I am sorry." Meanwhile, inside the hospital, Mo Yu was reporting the details of the evil cultivator to her superior, Kai Ling. He was once a wanted criminal. After the recovery of the world's essence, Qi, he became an expert by using the wicked art of plucking yin to supplement yang. He is also an elder of the Five Gods cult. His Daoist title is Wood Yin Spirit, Daoist Qianhua. Kai Ling, however, was looking at Wang Sheng, who was sitting in a wheelchair nearby. She scolded him, saying, "Since we found tracks of an evil cultivator, there were over 100 ways to deal with him. You certainly have a strong sense of social responsibility, jumping straight off the 18th floor to strike that man with your sword." Wang Sheng scratched his head awkwardly, saying that he had not thought much about it at the time. Hearing this, his martial uncle said irritably, "Humph, Wang Sheng, if Kai Ling had not come down to help you, how could she have gotten injured?" Seeing the sparks flying between the two of them, Wang Sheng was so scared that he hurriedly tried to mediate. Fortunately, the two of them only exchanged sharp glares, then both let out a huff and left. Only then did Wang Sheng breathe a long sigh of relief. Thank goodness they did not start a fight. The senior sister, seeing that Wang Sheng still had the leisure to worry about others, told him to get some good rest. She was heading back to school first. "I will stew a pot of bone soup and bring it to you tomorrow." While the senior sister was on her way back to school, a luxury car pulled up beside her. Two men in suits stepped out of the vehicle. At that moment, an aged voice came from inside the car. "We have searched so hard for you, young sect master." An old lady was seen sitting inside the car. "My old body finds it difficult to get out, and please forgive me." The senior sister, seeing the visitor, said in surprise, "Third grandma, why are you here? We were worried about you. We came here to protect you, young sect master. I am afraid tonight will not be peaceful." Meanwhile, in the hospital room, Mo Yu informed Wang Sheng that the auction would begin at midnight tonight. "This time, an inescapable net has been cast. We will surely capture the holy fire bearer." Wang Sheng suddenly asked what the date was today. Upon learning that today was October 18th, he fell into deep thought. "In my past life, what was I doing at this point in time? I feel like this incident is somehow connected to my previous life." Suddenly, Wang Sheng thought of something. Holy fire bearer. Holy fire. Could it be? At that moment, the hospital room door suddenly burst open. Shi Qianzhang rushed in and instantly lunged forward to grab Wang Sheng's legs. Wailing loudly, he cried out, "Brother Sheng, I have missed you so much, Brother Sheng." Wang Sheng quickly signaled Mu Yu to step out first. After Mu Yu left the room, Wang Sheng got straight to the point. "You are here because of the sacred fire bearer, Wo Qinxing, are not you?" Wang Sheng had already guessed that his purpose for coming was indeed the sacred fire bearer. Once Shi Qianzhang finished explaining everything to Wang Sheng, even though Wang Sheng had suspected as much, he was still genuinely shocked. "I would already guessed your connection, but I never imagined you were the one who passed him the Celestial Master Talisman scripts. He said he was going to do something big. He told me not to try and track his whereabouts, but I really did not know he would cause such a massive scene. And I had no idea how many people might die tonight. My roommate found a way to locate him, but I am afraid to go. He is my best brother." Desperate and at his wit's end, Shi Qianzhang could only ask Wang Sheng for advice on what to do. "Professionally, you must protect your sect's legacy and techniques. On a personal level, you need to go save your senior brother. Stop him before he makes a grave mistake. After a long internal struggle, Shi Qianzhong finally made up his mind to find the sacred fire-bearer. I will stop him before things get totally out of hand. But just then, a sudden attack lunged toward Shi Qianzhong. Wang Sheng reacted in time, pulling Shi Qianzhong to the side. Three figures then walked in through the door. Daoist Master Qingxing's grand plan is almost complete. Why do not you guys just stay out of his way? Shi Qianzhong immediately stepped in front to shield Wang Sheng. Who the hell are you people? The young man's cultivation level was unclear, but both of his followers were actually in the core formation realm. Looks like we have run into some real trouble today, the leading youth said with a mocking grin. Since you have already escaped once, Daoist Wang, don't go wading into these muddy waters again. We only want to have a little chat with Daoist Shi. Just then, the person disguised as a nurse behind him informed him that the Special Investigation Task Force had already dispatched reinforcements. He immediately gave the order to attack. Shi Qianzhong narrowly dodged the wave of attacks. He then leapt straight out of the window. If you want to kill me, come get me outside. Don't drag innocent people into this. The three attackers immediately gave chase. Wang Sheng looked down and saw the three of them surrounding and beating Shi Qianzhong. He realized they were only targeting Shi Qianzhong. As long as he did not intervene, he could likely survive this crisis unscathed. But can I really just stand by and watch him die? Seeing that Shi Qianzhong was in dire straits, a wheelchair wheel flew through the air, knocking the girl's attack off course. Then Wang Sheng came gliding down from above. Though Daoist Qianzhong and I are not that close, I can't exactly let him die here. Can I? He leveled his sword directly at the opponents. Bring it on. The tall man from earlier charged at Wang Sheng once again. Kid, we did not finish our fight last time. Let us pick up where we left off. But Wang Sheng's current strength had already improved by leaps and bounds, compared to before. Unleashing his yin-yang sword intent, he sent the tall man flying with a single strike. Seeing Shi Qianzhong overwhelmed once again, Wang Sheng fired a blast of sword chi from a distance. Simultaneously, he shouted at the top of his lungs, Uncle Jingyun, use the sword kinesis technique to kill them. The girl was startled for a moment. Then she immediately realized she had been tricked. That was just a simple burst of sword chi, not the sword kinesis technique at all. Shi Qianzhong seized the opening. He activated his Vajra body shield again. He was ready to go another 300 rounds with the girl, but before he could even finish his boast, his Vajra body shield was shattered. It was that young man who had not made a single move until now. In a panic, Wang Sheng hurriedly pushed his wheelchair toward them. Luckily, no vital organs were hit. Just then, the Special Investigation Task Force finally arrived. As they were preparing to leave, the tall man suddenly lost his mind. He charged toward Wang Sheng, itching for another round. Seeing this, the young man ignored him. He simply turned around and walked away. We have achieved our goal. Let us go. But just as the tall man raised his blade to attack again, he was restrained by the task force with iron chains. A team was dispatched to pursue the others. Meanwhile, orders were given to seal off all exits. Wang Sheng looked at the group. He recalled hearing in his past life that the task force had organized a cultivation police unit. Looks like this is them. A man approached Wang Sheng. He asked if they needed medical assistance. Wang Sheng patted Shi Qianzhong, who was beside him. This is Daoist Shi Qianzhong of Wudang Mountain. He has a way to find the torchbearer. Please treat him first. Wang Sheng finally understood why he would never heard of Shi Qianzhong in his previous life. Once Shi Qianzhong's condition stabilized, he took out a green talisman. It transformed into a green spirit bird and took flight. The task force immediately locked onto the spirit bird and followed. Meanwhile, Shi Qianzhong clutched his face and began to wail in pain. After he finished crying, he said, just wait with me for the outcome. Before long, the task force had apprehended the torchbearer. When Wang Sheng entered the interrogation room, he heard the torchbearer coughing fitfully. Then in a raspy voice, the man spoke. Ask whatever you want. I am terminally ill. I do not have much time left. Don't waste your energy trying to torture me. Kai Ling asked directly. Tell us about the auction process for the Celestial Master Talisman script. There is no auction. I may be an outcast of Wudang Mountain, but I would never let the talisman script fall into the hands of evil cultivators. As for the secret cultivation manuals they plan to exchange, I have already handed them over to someone I trust. Next, they will use the internet to spread these techniques to the world. Upon hearing this, Kai Ling immediately ordered the cyber division to monitor the entire web. The torchbearer heard this and asked, the essence chi is returning to Earth. Why should not everyone be allowed to cultivate? I am merely a pioneer. There will surely be others after me. That is enough. Kai Ling shouted, cutting him off. Take him away and keep him under heavy guard. The torchbearer simply smiled. No need to bother. My time is up. As the cigarette fell slowly from his hand, the torchbearer torchbearer departed from this world. Watching the man pass away before him, Wang Sheng could not help but feel a pang of sorrow. The cultivation technique I practiced in my past life really was spread by the torchbearer, stealing a life to gift it to all living beings. In a sense, Guo Qinxing truly lived up to the name torchbearer after the torchbearer's death, and under the joint suppression of various parties. The cultivators, looking for trouble, failed to make much of a splash. Later, Uncle Master Jing Yun claimed she could not stand the worldly filth. She returned to the mountain to await Master's exit from seclusion. Meanwhile, Wang Sheng stayed in the city to recover. He hoped to use this chance to reshape his bones and temper his physical body. One day, while Wang Sheng was leisurely nursing his injuries, he suddenly received a message from Mu Shixuan. Wang Sheng felt a sudden wave of unease. Earlier, his senior and junior sisters had replaced the Uncle Master who went down the mountain to protect Master during his meditation. My master's junior must have returned to Wudang Mountain and told her about me. Just as he was thinking about this, he suddenly heard someone else's voice. Wang Sheng immediately bowed to the three individuals. He wondered, why are even the masters from the three talisman sects here? At that moment, an expert walked out. Since young Daoist Master Wang has also arrived, then let us begin our discussion meeting right away. Today's topic is the secret of the revival of heaven and earth's primordial qi. Wang Sheng was instantly stunned. Soon, Wang Sheng learned the secret behind the revival of primordial qi. The object brought back from the moon back then was actually a woman. After the meeting ended, Wang Sheng could not calm down for a long time. On New Year's Eve, almost every household worships heaven and earth and makes offerings to deities. Could it be that the immortal awakened because of this, and reawakened the earth's primordial qi? What exactly is hidden on the moon? Why can that immortal summon primordial qi? And also, why do I keep feeling that the immortal looks so much like my senior sister? By now, Professor Ma, who had just chaired the meeting, had been waiting for him for some time. I have been waiting for you for a while. Come, let us have a seat in my office. Upon entering the office, he saw Professor Ma fumbling with something. It turned out his wife and Wang Sheng's master's wife have been best friends for decades. As an elder, he had a classmate of his forge a sword for Wang Sheng. He told him that this was the result of their latest research. It uses a rather cutting-edge composite material. The production cost is roughly over 3,000 per gram. Hearing this, Wang Sheng could not help but wonder if he was taking advantage of the country's resources. The moment Wang Sheng picked up the sword, he could feel it. Infusing true essence into it was incredibly smooth. The creator even considered how the sword could amplify a cultivator's true essence. Unfortunately, it lacked even a hint of spirituality. It is useless for cultivation. It can only be used for fighting. That is why he named it soulless. Before long, his senior sister rushed over in a hurry. Right after getting off the plane, she charged straight at Wang Sheng with a furious look on her face. She came right up to him, took off her glasses, and revealed a fierce, menacing expression. Then she said a quick thanks to Niu Yu, who was beside them. Wang Sheng saw that his senior sister was still fuming. Just as he was about to calm her down, he heard a delighted voice call out, "Daoist Master Feiyu, it really is you. The ancestors have blessed us. This is a miracle. Quickly, come back with me right now. Saving the mountain is as urgent as saving a life." Hearing this, his senior sister immediately shielded Wang Sheng behind her. Wang Sheng felt the scene looked just like a mother hen protecting her chick. At the same time, he heard the other person's accent was from the Sichuan Chongqing area. He thought, could this be a Daoist master from the Shushan sect? The man was heard saying, "I got too excited. I forgot to introduce myself. I am Fizi of the Shushan sword sect. I came here specifically to find you." After a brief exchange, Wang Sheng finally understood the purpose of Fizi's visit. Before the heaven and earth's primordial qi was cut off, the 9 sword sects had established a trial for the sect called Sword 72. After the heaven and earth's primordial qi was restored, the trial reopened. According to the sword sect's ancient records, as long as one can pass the trial, they will be able to obtain the complete art of sword riding. The problem is, to this day, not a single sword sect disciple has been able to pass this trial. Most of the sect's disciples cannot even step foot inside it. After hearing this, Wang Sheng scratched his head and said humbly, "My cultivation is shallow. Even if I go, I am afraid I might not be able to pass the trial." But Fizi looked thrilled. "How could you not? Feiyu, you are truly the leading figure among the sword cultivators of the new era. This sword bone, this sword body. He is not doing it on purpose. He is simply a natural-born swordman." He did not even flinch hearing the term swordman. Wang Sheng did not react at all to being called a swordman. His calm expression could literally be turned into a meme. But on second thought, the sword sect's kinesis art. How could I possibly let this opportunity slip away? I have made my decision right now. My leg injury will be healed in 2 days. Then we can set off for Jianmen Pass. Fei Yu mentioned he brought the sect's sacred healing medicine. It can quickly heal your leg injury. However, Wang Sheng said he planned to use this chance to reforge his body and temper his bones, so he can take his cultivation to the next level. Before he could even finish his sentence, senior sister grabbed him right by the ear. Her expression said it all. You dare mention your legs again? Wang Sheng immediately admitted he was wrong. While they were fooling around, Mo Yu suddenly brought some bad news. Priest, can your legs recover right now? I just received word. One of our branches was raided by evil cultivators. Casualties are heavy. After Wang Sheng and the others learned of the evil cultivators' schemes, they immediately set off for the destination. On the way, they found out it was the Five Gods cult. They have kidnapped hundreds of hostages. They are demanding to negotiate the order of the cultivation world with the authorities. They specifically named Wang Sheng and Kai Ling to negotiate. Otherwise, they will kill a hostage every 3 minutes. Senior sister is applying ointment to Wang Sheng's legs. Senior sister, as long as I dissolve the medicine's power, both my legs will be healed. Just wait for me at the camp later. You do not need to get involved in this. But Mu Shixuan had already made up her mind. I am coming with you this time. Soon, Wang Sheng's group met up with Kai Ling. Kai Ling gave them a brief rundown of the situation. The enemy has several experts in the Void Core realm, and hundreds of evil cultivators under them. The main point is, they are still holding the hostages. We are in a real bind, unable to strike freely. Wang Sheng suggested going in alone. With my cultivation level, I can find a way to stall for time, but Kai Ling would not agree no matter what. Just then, the evil cultivators accepted their video call. Kai Ling and the others confirmed that the person on the call was indeed the leader of the Five Gods cult, Shui Roshan. Kai Ling stated directly that she would arrive in 3 hours, but you must stop killing innocent people. Fine. If you do not show up in 3 hours, I will do it right in front of you. I will kill these people one by one. Now this old woman wants to see that bold brat, the sword cultivator, who killed my sworn fourth brother. I am right here. I was the one who killed that lecherous creep. If you want revenge, senior, come for me. Why take your anger out on others? Besides, I do not just have guts. I have a heart of gold too. How about I perform a free funeral rite for you later, senior? What spirit? If you had not killed my fourth brother, I would truly be loath to destroy you like this. If you are scared, then just do not come. I will come looking for you myself in the future. Hearing this, Wang Sheng replied nonchalantly. Scared? Hardly. Should I come empty-handed, or should I tie my hands behind my back? After all, I am a sword cultivator. I might accidentally hurt you, senior. I guess senior won't have the face to show up in the cultivation world anymore. Right, this definitely provoked the other party. Ha ha ha. You brat, do you only know how to run your mouth? Even if you bring your sword, and even if you bring those 2 people beside you, this old woman has nothing to fear. Hearing this, Wang Sheng and senior sister Mu Shixuan both let out a cold snort simultaneously. Then Fidongzi immediately spoke up. Fidongzi of the sword sect, I will be sure to come and experience your skills later. 3 hours later, if you do not show up before me, the island will be destroyed and everyone will die today. How dare mere mortals interfere in the affairs of the cultivation world? You are just asking for humiliation. After hanging up the video call, Fidangzi immediately gave Wang Sheng a big thumbs up. I must say that reverse psychology worked like a charm. Thanks to your quick reaction, priest, we have increased the landing party to 4 people. At this time, Kai Ling reminded everyone to get ready. I just reported an extra half hour, which is enough time for the task force and the sects still in the city to prepare for battle. Wang Sheng then asked, is it possible to succeed if we use top experts for a surprise attack? Even with a golden core expert, I am afraid we can't guarantee taking down so many void core cultivators instantly. Besides, ascending to the golden core stage right now, that would require an insanely monstrous comprehension of the blade realm. Priest Fidongzi is right. I was being too naive, but secretly, he thought to himself, we do have a golden core cultivator, but he probably won't make it in time, right? Meanwhile, on Wudang Mountain, Aunt Jingyun and the little junior sister were guarding the cave entrance. Aunt Jingyun looked at the message Wang Sheng sent her. Isn't the Five Gods cult the same sect as those evil cultivators from before? Doesn't that mean Wang Sheng and Mu Shixuan are in danger? Just then, Qingyanzi's voice came from inside the cave. Smells so good. Junior sister, have you already cooked a meal for me? Qingyanzi, who had been in seclusion for a long time, finally emerged. When he first saw the little junior sister, he thought his sister had taken on a new disciple. But when he looked closer, he unexpectedly saw a silhouette he had missed for many years. Qing Yanzi rushed to the little girl in excitement. "Xiao Wen, are you Xiao Wen?" Looking at the little girl standing there dazed, Qing Yanzi said emotionally, "I am your father. You probably have not met me yet." After saying that, he prepared to go and tidy himself up. "I will come to see you once I have cleaned up properly." Just then, Jingyun interrupted him. "Senior brother, I am afraid you do not have time to bond with Xiao Wen right now. Wang Sheng, Mu Xiswen, and sister-in-law Kai Ling are all in trouble." Both father and daughter were shocked. "What?" Not long after, the members of the Special Investigation Task Force all arrived. After everyone discussed and finalized the battle plan, Wang Sheng's group of 4 headed to the island at the appointed time. "Wang Sheng, once we draw the evil Void Core experts over, the task force will launch a raid from the other 3 sides. We must rescue the hostages as fast as possible. It is a bit of a stretch, but let us try our best to lure the evil cultivators toward us later. If we just kill the evil cultivators directly, are not we afraid of provoking them?" They said it themselves. Matters of the cultivation world should be settled by cultivators. The less we seem to care about the hostages, the safer they will be. When they arrived on the island, a swarm of evil cultivators was already waiting for them. "So you are the one who killed Elder Muyin of our 5 God sect." "It was me." "What of it?" The man was about to hurl more insults, but Wang Sheng was not about to indulge him. He finished him off directly with a single sword strike. "You said matters of the cultivation world should be settled by cultivators. Well, I am here now. Are you still planning to use ordinary people to blackmail me? Kill whoever you want. Either way, I am here today to eliminate demons and defend the Dao. If I let you lot go, who knows how many more people will suffer." Just then, a voice rang out from the evil cultivator's side. "Disciples of the sect, anyone who kills this man will be rewarded with 10 years of cultivation and 3 secret techniques. Kill these 3, and bring that task force leader Kai Ling onto the island." Hearing those words, the evil cultivators pounced forward like a pack of madmen. But these small fries were no match for Wang Sheng at all. He quickly tore through their ranks, leaving them in a total rout. Then Fei Zi also unleashed his sword kinesis technique and joined the fray. The 2 of them glanced at the forest ahead. They shared a look, and immediately charged into the woods to continue the hunt, leaving only his senior sister and Xiniang by the shore. Just as the 2 were enjoying the heat of the battle, a message came through their earpieces. "A squad of elites is heading your way." The 2 immediately fell back to the shore. Wang Sheng then reminded his senior sister, "Don't hold back when they get here." Sure enough, a swarm of evil cultivators soon burst out from the forest. Fei Zi looked at the newcomers, noticing they were all at the mortal shedding stage. "Be careful when the fighting starts." At that moment, senior sister performed the art of yin and yang qi, treading the taiji steps. She suppressed all the attackers with just a single move. Seeing she was a tough nut to crack, they tried to retreat. But how could senior sister let them get away with that? She directly disrupted the worldly essence in the area, making it impossible for the evil cultivators to muster any power. They were left as nothing more than lambs to the slaughter. Meanwhile, deep within the island, Shui Rushwen and the other high-ranking members were gathered. "Everyone, why do not we strike together to capture Kai Ling, and then make our escape immediately?" But someone spoke up. "It is easy enough for us to leave. But what about our disciples? Chaos is coming. With strength like yours, are you worried you won't find new underlings?" Back with Wang Sheng, the evil cultivators nearby realized the trio's strength was terrifying. They were about to turn tail and run back into the woods. At that moment, a figure flew out from the depths and struck straight at senior sister. Wang Sheng appeared in front of her just in time to block the blow. Seeing the attackers, Wang Sheng's face was full of disdain. "Have you no shame? To deal with the 3 of us at the core formation stage, you really needed to send 4 at the false stand stage." The newcomers were indeed Shui Rushwen and her group of 4. Behind them was a massive horde of evil cultivators. Xiniang Kai Ling saw that nearly all the enemies had been lured out. "It is time to move to phase 2. Everyone, strike." As soon as the words left her lips, 4 people who had been lying in ambush leaped out from the water. They immediately engaged the 4 false Dan experts. Shui Rushwen saw their strength was no less than her own size. She immediately ordered the profound iron god to seize Kai Ling. Wang Sheng and Fei Zi saw that walking mountain of iron heading their way. Just as they braced themselves, their senior sister grabbed them by the shoulders from behind. She tossed them back like they were little chicks, stepping forward to face the profound iron god alone. The profound iron god did not waste any breath on words. He charged straight at senior sister to strike her down. Little did he know the power of senior sister's yin-yang duality's law. Her greatest strength is using softness to overcome hardness. That Zhan Taishen could not gain the slightest advantage against senior sister. But right at this moment, a dark shadow silently appeared behind Kai Ling. Fortunately, Wang Sheng noticed in time and did not let his sinister plot succeed. Fei Zi then called out, telling Wang Sheng to take Kai Ling away first. He would hold this person off himself. Wang Sheng did not waste any time. He picked up Kai Ling and dashed toward the forest. Shui Rushen saw that the man was actually intercepted by two practitioners in the core formation stage. She thought she had to find a way to stall for a bit. Immediately, she issued an order to all the cult members on the island. She ordered them to start slaughtering those mortals. To her surprise, a voice from the Special Investigation Task Force came through, announcing that all hostages on the island had been rescued. Now it was their turn to panic. Meanwhile, other members of the task force were rushing here at full speed. After Wang Sheng delivered Kai Ling to the main force, he finally drew the Wu Ling sword from his back and charged back into the fray. So Wang Sheng wielded Wu Ling and engaged in a fierce battle with that sand controller. That man used sand to condense a suit of armor around his body. He looked exactly like Gaara. With just one hand, he caught Wang Sheng's sword. Just as he was about to gloat, Wang Sheng applied a burst of hidden internal force and shattered the man's defense. The man was infuriated. His spiritual power exploded, blasting Wang Sheng away. As soon as Wang Sheng hit the ground, he spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. In the distance, Mu Shixuan, who was in the middle of a heated battle, sensed that Wang Sheng was injured. She was momentarily distracted. Wang Sheng immediately shouted that he was fine. He signaled senior sister to focus on her fight. The injured Sandman was now consumed by rage. He bellowed, vowing to kill Wang Sheng. Fei Zi quickly moved to Wang Sheng's side, indicating that the task force had already surrounded them. Let us team up to keep him busy. Don't let him escape. Sure enough, after a short while, the Special Investigation Task Force members closed in. Wang Sheng was then able to withdraw after completing his mission. Seeing the situation was lost, Shui Rushen was about to call for Zhan Taishen to retreat, but she suddenly found a massive Taiji formation appearing beneath her. It trapped her completely. This was clearly the work of Mu Shixuan nearby. Seeing Shui Rushen dazed and vulnerable, a task force member seized the opportunity. With one sword strike, he slayed Shui Rushen after taking down the enemy leader. Morale on our side soared. Shui Rushen is dead. Everyone, redouble your efforts to clear the battlefield. Tonight, until the evil cultivators are wiped out, we shall not rest. The enemy collapsed like a falling mountain. Soon, several leaders of the God of War sect, under the siege of many instructors, were executed one by one. By the seaside, Wang Sheng was now leaning against Mu Shixuan. Senior sister felt deep heartache seeing the injured Wang Sheng. At this time, Kai Ling walked over. She asked if they wanted to stay with the Special Investigation Task Force. After hesitating for a moment, Wang Sheng said they would decide after talking it over with Master. Besides, he had promised Fei Zi that he would visit the sword sect. Then, two other instructors walked over. Both were scrambling to recruit Wang Sheng to their side. While they were arguing, several people simultaneously sensed someone in the sky. Realizing the person was a Golden Core expert, they immediately ordered everyone below the Void Core stage to retreat. At the same time, they ordered missiles to lock onto him. Just as everyone was bracing for a formidable foe, Wang Sheng said awkwardly, "The one up there seems to be my master." Then they heard Qing Yanzi shouting, "Where are the evil cultivators?" Wang Sheng immediately shouted back to his master in the sky, "Master, the evil cultivators have all been annihilated. Why do not you come down first?" Who would have thought Qing Yanzi would say he came in such a hurry? His clothes were completely shredded by the gale. He gestured for Wang Sheng and his companion to come over for a word. When Wang Sheng saw master in such a state, he really could not help but burst out laughing. Qing Yanzi looked exactly like a high-end version of a beggar. There was not a single patch of intact fabric left on his body. Wang Sheng suddenly started taking off his own outer robe. He walked toward Qing Yanzi while undressing. To his surprise, Qing Yanzi instantly covered his eyes in mock horror. "You kid. Don't tell me you have developed improper thoughts about your master. Your senior sister is so beautiful. How could you end up with a fetish like this?" These words immediately left Wang Sheng speechless and moved to tears. As expected, master is still the same old master. Wang Sheng quickly handed his robe to Qing Yanzi. "Master, you must have seen Auntie Kai Ling by now, right? My master's wife. Senior sister's mother is right here." Qing Yanzi let out a deep, long sigh. "We had to face each other, eventually." He took Wang Sheng's clothes and prepared to change. Wang Sheng secretly told senior sister to go call Kai Ling over. After Qing Yanzi finished grooming himself meticulously, he practically looked 30 years younger instantly. When the two of them met again, Kai Ling said coldly, "I still have a lot of work to do. If you have something to say, say it. But please keep it brief." Before she could finish her sentence, Qing Yanzi pulled her into a firm embrace. "You have avoided me for 20 years. It has been driving me crazy. I do not want to Lose you again. Kai Ling was instantly overwhelmed by this bold move. I left in a fit of rage back then, and I truly did you wrong. You do not need to do this for me anymore. Besides, I do not have much energy left for things outside of work. I know, the Special Investigation Task Force, right? Are you guys still hiring? I never want to be apart from you again. Plus, this way I can secure some resources for Little Sheng and the others. It is a win-win situation for their cultivation. Hearing this, how could Kai Ling possibly refuse? As for Little Sheng and Little Zan, based on Yan Zhongnan's standards, let us provide them with monthly allocations of spirit pills and stones. Qing Yanzi immediately asked, what about me? Kai Ling suddenly grabbed Qing Yanzi by the ear. You are working for me for free. This sudden display of affection caught everyone off guard. Wang Sheng, hiding nearby, was completely stunned. It is settled just like that. Master really is the goat. No sooner had he spoken, 3 more spectators popped up behind him. They were all excitedly enjoying the tea and drama. Seeing his master's lifelong wish finally fulfilled today, Wang Sheng could not help but feel genuinely happy for him. After settling the matters with the 5 gods cult, Wang Sheng and Fei Zi arrived at Shushan. Upon arriving at Shushan, the Grand Elder received Wang Sheng in person. After the initial pleasantries, he let Wang Sheng rest for the night. They would discuss the trials the following day. Thinking back to that night with the 5 gods cult, Master had told Wang Sheng that the 72 swords was his great opportunity. But once the trials were over, he had to return to the mountain for 3 years of secluded cultivation, to diligently reflect on everything he had gained during this period, to truly master the art of being steady. Thinking about his time since leaving the mountain, he indeed had become quite impulsive and arrogant. At the end of the day, he had lost that initial heart of reverence for heaven, earth and the Tao. While cultivating, Wang Sheng suddenly heard the booming sound of a bell. He quickly realized it was a Buddhist chant. Right next to the sword sect, there was actually a Buddhist temple. Afterward, Wang Sheng told Fizi about his discovery. He then learned from Fizi that the temple was called Xian Temple. It had existed for over 1,000 years. Because it possessed a complete lineage of Buddhist teachings, it slowly began to revive after the world's primordial qi was restored. At the same time, it was said that the temple had suppressed many ancient demons for a millennium. Wang Sheng quickly reported this matter to his master. His master advised him that as a guest of the sword sect, he must not forget his manners. He also told him that there was a monk named Rufeng at Xian Temple. He asked Wang Sheng to pay him a visit on his behalf. When Wang Sheng and his companion arrived at Xian Temple, Zen Master Rufeng had already been waiting at the main gate for a long time. Welcoming them as well was the abbot of Xian Temple, Xuanku. After some pleasantries, they led Wang Sheng and his companion to the back courtyard. When they reached a well in the back courtyard, the abbot began to speak. This place is called the Demon Sealing Well. Legend has it that a great demon sealing formation is hidden within. It suppresses a 1,000-year-old ancient demon. Before the world's primordial qi was restored, one could see a cavern at the bottom of the well. After the primordial qi was restored, the great formation inside the well activated, and that cavern vanished. However, last month, something changed here again. Just then, Rufeng took a deep breath from behind, facing the well's opening. He actually managed to draw out a mass of demonic qi. Rufeng then spoke with a grave expression. After 1,000 years, the great formation can no longer bear the strain. It could collapse at any moment. When that happens, I fear the suppressed ancient demon will reawaken and bring chaos to the world. Wang Sheng and Fizi were both shocked. That ancient demon has been suppressed for 1,000 years, and it is still not dead. You have to understand, even a golden core cultivator, in a world rich with primordial qi, only has a lifespan of about 800 years. To survive for 1,000 years in a world where primordial qi is depleted, what realm must this ancient demon be in? If it really breaks free, for the mortal world, it would be an absolute catastrophe. Wang Sheng immediately contacted the Special Investigation Task Force. Fizi also notified the elders of the sword sect to come and assist with the investigation. Ultimately, the task force invited eminent monks to the site to help reinforce the Great Formation. While purifying the demonic qi, they would also conduct a geological survey of the surrounding area to formulate a battle plan. On the other hand, the sword sect also made a promise. Should the ancient demon show any signs of activity, they would immediately rush over to provide support. Because of this, the trial of Jian Kashir became the sword sect's top priority. Jian Kashir is our sect's blessed trial ground. It has a total of 8 levels and 72 stages. As long as one can break through to the 7th level, they can retrieve the foundational treasure of our Shushan. Starting today, the entire sword sect will feed swords to Feiyu, helping him perfect his sword will, and successfully pass the trial. Thus, Wang Sheng began his round-the-clock trial of sparring. After thousands of clashes of sword will, Wang Sheng had nearly exhausted all his essence and spirit. According to the sword sect's methods, this is the easiest time to gain enlightenment and achieve a breakthrough. Seeing that Wang Sheng had reached his limit, the great elder told him to go back and properly reflect. They would continue sparring at high noon the next day. When Wang Sheng returned to his quarters, he immediately began today's meditation. The seven-star sword will's essence lies in its transformations. But what if this is just one level of understanding, and not its true, ultimate form? The Big Dipper's 7 stars revolve around the Polaris star as their axis. The sword formation is also based on this principle. But what if I were in the position of the Polaris Emperor star, controlling the Big Dipper? Then I could make the sword formation move with my body, at will, effortlessly, forming sword will without a single move. How exactly should one execute the moves in a sword formation like this? After pondering for a long time, Wang Sheng suddenly had an epiphany. A sword is a weapon, no matter how exquisite the moves are. The ultimate purpose of using a sword is to slay the enemy. If I strip away all the complex variations of the moves, and only retain the raw sword intent, then by reversing the 7-star sword formation, I can condense every technique into a single strike. Instantly, a colossal surge of sword intent soared straight into the heavens. This move caused the entire Shushan sword sect to go into an absolute frenzy. Everyone turned toward Wang Sheng with looks of pure disbelief. And at this moment, Wang Sheng finally understood. Residing in the purple star, commanding the 7 stars. This is the true essence of the 7-star sword formation. Just as Wang Sheng was rejoicing in his success, the Grand Elder and Fei Zi came rushing over in a panic. They asked with great concern, what on earth just happened? Wang Sheng scratched his head sheepishly and said, Seniors, it seems my 7-star sword intent reached full mastery by accident. After Wang Sheng realized the true secret of the 7-star sword formation, he immediately informed his master of the news. Qing Yanzi showered Wang Sheng with a barrage of praise. After hanging up the phone, he also found Wang Sheng's discovery to be quite incredible. He could not help but wonder if the founder really modified this, based on the Wudang 7-star sword formation. He then pulled a box out of his pocket. I originally wanted to wait until Sheng and Zan formed their golden cores to open the sect treasure together. But now, I will have to open it early to see exactly what the founder left behind. After a night of meditation and insight, Wang Sheng had gained complete control over this sword intent. The Grand Elder then asked, Fei Yu, we have been discussing this all morning. We still want you to make the final decision. Do you plan to challenge the formation now, or consolidate your power for 2 months first? Once Wang Sheng confirmed the 72 sword trials only tested one sword Dao realm, he decided to face the challenge today. Soon, Wang Sheng arrived at the entrance of the trial. When he saw the character for sword engraved on the wall, Wang Sheng marveled at how a single character could gauge a cultivator's attainment in sword intent, and even repel those whose cultivation was insufficient. Indeed, the heritage of every sect is truly awe-inspiring. Wang Sheng then opened the gates and entered the first level of the trial. Facing the first level's challenge, Wang Sheng cleared it with absolute ease. The second, third, and fourth levels followed in quick succession. By the time he reached the 5th level, Wang Sheng felt that during this entire run, his 7-star sword intent was basically steamrolling everything. He felt this was not doing much to help him improve. So he decided to take the opportunity to hone his yin-yang sword intent, which was still stuck at the dual extremes defense stage. Through continuous combat and practice, Wang Sheng's understanding of the yin-yang sword intent became much more profound. Soon, Wang Sheng reached the 54th trial. If he passed this stage, he could proceed to the next floor. Just as Wang Sheng reached out to open the door, he heard a voice echoing out, Is there no one left in Shushan? Wang Sheng immediately leapt back several meters. Like and share, Wang Sheng immediately leapt back several meters. Wang Sheng immediately leapt back several meters. Like and share. Who is there? I am the sword spirit of the founder Qing Feng's personal blade, tasked with guarding this grand formation. You are not a disciple of my Shushan sect. Why have you appeared here? The sword on Wang Sheng's back began to vibrate incessantly. I am Wang Sheng, a sword cultivator from Wudang Mountain. I was invited by the seniors of Shushan to help the sword sect recover the Shushan sword kinesis art, lost since the spirit energy vanished a millennium ago. A wisp of spiritual energy drifted out from behind the door. Gradually, it manifested into the form of an old man. Sword kinesis is the very foundation of Shushan. To think those worthless descendants actually managed to lose it. Furthermore, what proof do you have that the spiritual energy has been gone for 1,000 years? Senior, how about I tell you everything that has happened over the last 1,000 years? The sword spirit suddenly recalled something at that moment. During its long slumber, the world essence had indeed been constantly thinning out. Fine then, speak up. Wang Sheng perked up instantly. Wang Sheng was in high spirits. He actually started his story all the way back from the Tang dynasty. He just kept rambling on and on. The sword spirit listened with great interest. No one knew how much time had passed, but Wang Sheng finally finished explaining everything, the sword spirit could not help but feel puzzled. So you are a successor of Lu Dongbin. But why is it that you do not practice the pure Yang sword song, but the Zuwei heavenly sword instead? These words left Wang Sheng momentarily stunned. The sword spirit did not wait for Wang Sheng's answer. Never mind. Go ahead and try to break through the formation. I won't be going easy on you. After saying that, the two began their battle. Facing Wang Sheng's assault, the sword spirit could not help but praise him. Of all those who have entered these 72 sword trials, your talent and comprehension and talent are definitely in the top 10. The two fought fiercely for a long time. Neither side could gain the upper hand. Finally, Wang Sheng unleashed the Zuwei sword move he had just realized. He finally defeated the sword spirit. The sword spirit then said, the sword kinesis techniques from level 61 to 63 are divided into 3 volumes. If you want to take them all, you will have to put in quite a bit of effort. It then promptly vanished. At last, Wang Sheng reached the 7th level. This is the trial where the sword kinesis technique is hidden. Just then, that sword spirit popped up again. It charged straight at Wang Sheng once more. Wang Sheng was speechless at the sight. We just had a fight. Again, during the constant duels with the sword spirit. He understood that in the 72 sword trials, the difficulty of a later level is naturally higher than the previous one, and the strength the sword spirit exerted in each level was based on the limits set by the Great Formation. As the two continued to spar, the sword spirit's attitude toward Wang Sheng became much friendlier. Not only did it often point out the flaws in his sword moves, but every time it repelled him. The sword spirit would intentionally give him tips or tease him a bit. However, it would still beat Wang Sheng to a pulp at every turn. Wang Sheng could not help but start wondering. They say a sword reflects its master's personality. Could it be that Grand Master Qingfeng had masochistic tendencies? How could he know that the sword spirit was simply bored out of its mind? Now that someone had finally shown up, how could it let him leave so easily? Time flew by. In the blink of an eye, a year had passed. Wang Sheng finally walked out of the 72 sword trials. Looking at Wang Sheng's ragged appearance, who knows how he had been tormented by that sword spirit over the year. Just as he stepped out of the gate, a pill flew out from within. Wang Sheng looked at the sword spirit in confusion. The sword spirit informed him that this was the reward for clearing the trials. This was a refined sword marrow. Normally, it can be kept in the dantian to be nurtured. It can be transformed into a flying sword to slay enemies. Wang Sheng immediately expressed his gratitude to the sword spirit. The sword spirit, however, was quite annoyed. It had only been a year, and he already cleared it. It had not even had enough fun yet. Wang Sheng was speechless but could only force a smile. Finally, he did not have to be tormented anymore. After Wang Sheng came out, he told the seniors of the sword sect about the sword spirit. Presumably, more people would challenge the trials in the future, and the sword spirit would not be too bored. At the same time, the great elder had also prepared a big gift for Wang Sheng. When he saw that it was a lifetime honorary elder token, Wang Sheng could not help but give a helpless smile. But he accepted it nonetheless, and promised that if the sword sect ever faced trouble in the future, he would definitely come to their aid. And so, Wang Sheng bid farewell to the sword sect and returned to Wudang. When Wang Sheng arrived back at the small courtyard in Wudang, he found that his senior sister and master were not there. Over the past year, master had become an official celebrity and the go-to guy for exorcising evil. Most of the time, he was either enjoying his leisure time cultivating or keeping master's wife company. This meant poor senior sister had to shoulder all the hard work. When Wang Sheng sent senior sister a message saying he was back, "I am ignoring you, HMPH," senior sister replied with a barrage of angry emojis. She kept spamming the chat with stickers. "You are driving me crazy." She sent yet another string of memes. Because he had been in secluded cultivation, his phone had been dead. It seems senior sister was very upset about Wang Sheng being Mia for a whole year. He quickly started changing the subject to coax and comfort her. Afterward, following his master's orders, Wang Sheng continued his secluded cultivation deep in the mountains, until another year had passed. A phone call from master finally interrupted Wang Sheng's peaceful meditation. He learned from his master that in just 3 short days, the sacred legacies of 5 Daoist sects had been stolen. Since Wang Sheng had encountered similar incidents before, master wanted to see if he had any leads. Wang Sheng immediately guessed this was the work of the Yin-Yang sect. So he went on a long explanation, telling master everything about his previous encounters. Master also gave Wang Sheng a new assignment. The Special Investigation Task Force was organizing the first Immortal Dao Conference, and they wanted Wang Sheng to join the preparatory meeting. When the video call connected, he saw senior sister's fierce, glaring eyes. Wang Sheng could only greet her with an awkward smile. Soon Wang Sheng realized the real purpose of this Immortal Dao Conference. It was actually a plan to wipe out the Yin-Yang sect. The event was a bait to lure the Yin-Yang sect out into the open. The meeting lasted until late at night. Just then, an urgent alarm rang out across Wudang. The scripture pavilion was actually on fire. Wang Sheng immediately dashed toward the pavilion. The Yin-Yang sect had indeed dared to strike Wudang, but Wang Sheng quickly came to his senses. The fire was just a distraction to create chaos. Knowing there were so many masters on Wudang Mountain, the thieves would surely use the confusion to disguise themselves and blend in with the pursuing disciples. Wang Sheng immediately called out to all the seniors and uncles, telling them to stop every disciple searching the area. The culprits were likely hiding among them. The situation was brought under control quickly, but some ancient texts had already been stolen, and 4 guards had been killed in the attack. Senior brother Ying Long was also unconscious after a sneak attack. Although they successfully killed 2 of the thieves, the stolen texts were not found on their bodies. Everyone soon realized there was a mole within Wudang. Grandmaster Yuan Pu then asked Wang Sheng, "Fei Yu, you are close with the investigation team. Do you have any intel on this?" Wang Sheng stated that based on the Yin-Yang sect's usual mo, he had a hunch. The stolen texts must still be hidden on the traitor's person. As for how to smoke them out, once senior brother wakes up, the culprit will have nowhere to hide. So, they gathered all the disciples together. Meanwhile, Wang Sheng sat in a hidden corner observing everyone. Soon, news that Ying Long had woken up began to spread. Wang Sheng spotted a disciple in the crowd who was clearly panicking. The man pulled out a dagger and took another disciple hostage. At the critical moment, a flash of sword light sliced through the air, cutting the man's wrist. It was Wang Sheng, who had been waiting for the right moment to strike. The mole did not last long under the unconventional interrogation of the Wudang priests. He eventually spilled everything. Once the situation at Wudang was resolved, Wang Sheng set off to meet with the Special Investigation Task Force to focus on the Immortal Dao Conference. He soon arrived at the meeting spot where he had agreed to meet Mu Yu. Meanwhile, Mu Shixuan had already been waiting here for quite some time. After Wang Sheng got into the car, he was lost in thought about the upcoming Immortal Dao Grand Assembly. Suddenly, someone beside him handed him a bag of snacks. Wang Sheng turned his head to look, and to his surprise, it was his senior sister. He immediately became overcome with excitement. As Wang Sheng gazed at her, he began snacking with a face full of pure bliss. Then he saw senior sister excitedly pull out a small pouch. The very next second, countless snacks poured out from the pouch like magic. In an instant, Wang Sheng was literally drowned in a sea of snacks and sisterly love. Soon, the group arrived at the venue for the Grand Assembly, Mount Sanqing, to lure out the big fish from the Yin-Yang sect. His master's wife, Kai Ling, had prepared some heavyweight bait. She had personally arranged for the transport of the ancient stone tablet, the one brought back when the Lunar Maiden was first discovered. Rumor has it that the tablet contains the supreme immortal arts. After several days of intense preparation, the Grand Assembly was finally drawing near. Wang Sheng was given the glorious task of maintaining public order. When Fei Yaoze, who came for the assembly, saw Wang Sheng, he excitedly pulled him into a massive bear hug. He promised he would be a great help this time around. While the two were catching up, Martial Uncle Gao also arrived at the Immortal Dao Grand Assembly. After paying his respects, Wang Sheng anxiously asked about senior brother Ying Long's condition. Fortunately, thanks to the help from Medicine God Valley, Ying Long has finally regained consciousness. Then Martial Uncle Gao took down a sword case from his back, explaining it was a gift passed on from Grandmaster Yuan Pu. The sword is named Bing Li. It is an ancient blade passed down from 1,000 years ago. Wang Sheng gently stroked the blade, feeling a bone-chilling intent hidden deep within the steel. Even his own sword core was resonating with its power. It seems the rank of this sword can truly be considered a Dharma treasure. When Fei Yaoze saw the sword, his face was written with pure disdain. "The sword is fine, but it does not suit you at all, Wang Sheng. Why not let Wudang Mountain find you a better one instead?" Martial Uncle Gao countered. "With a sword in hand, it is a tool to be mastered by the sword cultivator. How can you say it is unsuitable?" The two of them began a heated debate over the nature of the Tao. Sparks soon began to fly between them, and they challenged each other to a duel right then and there. Wang Sheng, unable to stop them, could only awkwardly remind them it was just a friendly match, warning them not to let things get too heated. Their duel quickly attracted a massive crowd of onlookers. Wang Sheng looked at the Bing Li sword, thinking that the sword really did not fit his style. Since senior sister does not have a handy weapon yet, he decided it would be better to give it to her. But suddenly, Wang Sheng heard Shi Qianzheng's voice. He was absolutely terrified of that guy's antics. He saw Shi Qianzheng running toward him, crying and screaming at the top of his lungs. Suddenly, several iron chains flew out from behind him, instantly binding Shi Qianzheng up tight. It turned out Shi Qianzheng's master was afraid he would embarrass the sect, so he had to resort to this desperate measure. Soon, the first Immortal Dao Grand Assembly officially began with Qing Yanzi's announcement. Everyone must conduct themselves with honor as the first assembly officially begins. The opening ceremony of the first Immortal Tao Grand Assembly was underway. Starting the ritual exchange, the grand event officially commenced. Under the guidance of Qing Yanzi, the assembly was finally in full swing. Showcasing the skills of every sect, the grand competition officially kicked off. With the masters gathered, the Immortal Tao Grand Assembly began in earnest. Besides serving as a referee, Wang Sheng was also being used as a human tool to screen for evil cultivators. While watching the surveillance monitors, he quickly locked onto a suspicious monk. Wang Sheng then appeared directly in front of the monk. He led the monk away on the pretext of re-evaluating his match results. In no time, Wang Sheng had led the monk to a secluded location. Suddenly, an attack came from behind, lunging toward the monk. The monk managed to block the strike just in time. Mu Shixuan had appeared out of nowhere, having arrived there in disguise. Under their combined attack, they quickly took down the monk, and just as expected, Wang Sheng ripped a human skin mask right off the man's face. After he was taken away by the Special Investigation Task Force, and given the latest truth serum, they learned this man was a minor leader in the Yin-Yang sect. The full name of the Yin-Yang sect is the Yin-Yang Wanwu sect. It is led by two sect masters, one yin and one yang. Below the sect masters, there are 9 great elders. To gain a position within the Yin-Yang Wanwu sect, one not only needs a sufficient cultivation level, but also absolute loyalty to the sect. They also learned from this man that the Yin-Yang sect is a descendant of the one driven to the ancient continent of Guilin 1,800 years ago by the Daoist sects. The Pre-Qin school of Yin and Yang, their recent brazen theft of Daoist legacies, was all in an effort to find the lost Yin-Yang secret tome. Who would have thought the Yin-Yang sect had such a deep backstory? Afterward, Wang Sheng reported the matter to his master. When his master heard about the Yin-Yang secret tome, he immediately started frantically searching his robes. Then with a grave expression, his master said, "We are in trouble. Little Sheng, quick, go get your senior sister." His master was holding a secret manual. On it, the 4 large characters for Yin-Yang secret tome were clearly written. The 4 large characters for Yin-Yang secret tome were clearly written. "A senior from Wudang Mountain gave this to me on his deathbed. The yin-yang technique your senior sister cultivates is the very technique recorded in this manual." Wang Sheng's face changed in an instant. When his senior sister was called over, she just stared blankly at the two of them pacing around non-stop. Wang Sheng, however, was filled with worry. If the Yin-Yang Wanwu sect finds out that senior sister is cultivating the Yin-Yang secret tome, would not they risk their lives to come and snatch the manual? They might even kill senior sister, right? He immediately told his master to have her stop using this technique for the time being. "Your senior sister has been going down the mountain frequently these past few years. It is possible she has already been targeted. How about this? Let us have senior sister go into seclusion on the mountain for a few years. Once we have wiped out this group of evil cultivators, can they just crawl out of their graves to bother us? I will call a Ling first. I will ask her how big this Yin-Yang sect is. If worst comes to worst, I will go sweet-talk the other sects again. We will join forces and wipe the Yin-Yang sect off the face of the earth." His senior sister, completely clueless about what was happening, was sulking by herself, drawing circles on the ground. She was on the verge of a total shutdown. Soon enough, his master received a message from his wife. "The Yin-Yang sect has now gathered nearly half of the Evil Path's top masters. Your master's wife has wanted to deal with them for a long time. But right now, we still need a catalyst to spur the other sects into action, to get them to unite." Meanwhile, his senior sister, standing to the side, was anxiously looking for her phone. A moment later, Wang Sheng and his master both received a message from his senior sister at the same time. After reading the message she sent, Qing Yanzi just smiled and patted his senior sister's head. "Don't worry, it is not a big deal. Master can handle it." Just as his senior sister was about to leave, she was stopped by Wang Sheng. "Care to explain something? Pray tell, in what way is your junior brother little?" His senior sister's mood immediately soured. "Want to find out?" Feeling his senior sister's killing intent, Wang Sheng instantly backed down. The next day, Qing Yanzi made an important announcement at the Grand Assembly. The top 8 contestants of this assembly can go to the Immortal Steel to comprehend immortal techniques. At the same time, he shared a few lines of a cultivation method from it. One turn of yin and yang. The 2 poles give birth to all things. Heaven and earth contain the sun and moon. This Tao returns to the primordial. Seeing that the bait had been cast, Wang Sheng just had to see if the fish would bite. And sure enough, somewhere else, a man in black immediately recognized it. That is the general outline of the Yin-Yang secret records. The second day of the tournament resumed shortly after. Although the matchups are supposedly randomized, there is actually some behind-the-scenes rigging going on. Any suspicious participants are matched against known masters of the righteous Tao. The goal is to ensure no evil cultivators make it to the top 8. Meanwhile, Master and Kai Ling have prepared several backup plans. At this moment, on the platform where Wang Sheng is located, one person is Monk Wai Jing from Yunnan's Tianlong Temple. He has been a monk at Tianlong Temple since childhood, and he has been assisting the Special Investigation Task Force for a long time. His seniority is second only to Wang Sheng. on the other hand, is a loose cultivator under 35. A complete nobody in the false core realm. The setup is pretty obvious, is not it? Just as the match was about to begin, the archer was just about to launch an attack when Wang Sheng called him to a halt. The rules do not forbid bows and arrows, but you can't charge up your power beforehand. Otherwise, would not the opponent just be a sitting duck? That mustachioed guy immediately tried to argue back. Wang Sheng instantly released a burst of sword intent. He completely suppressed the man with sheer pressure. Then he said, "The match continues. Remember, no pre-charging your bow and arrows." Wang Sheng then looked like a schemer whose plan had succeeded. Wait, this is fishing plan phase 2, pretending to be a crooked ref. He then gave monk Wai Jing an encouraging, "Keep it up" look. This left the monk looking totally bewildered. To further lure out the evil cultivators, the convention granted the new top 16 permission to meditate on parts of the immortal tablet tonight. This included the 2 individuals with suspicious identities left on purpose. At that moment, Wang Sheng noticed someone secretly taking photos of the tablet with a phone. Wang Sheng perked up instantly. Very good. The fish is taking the bait. On the final day of the Immortal Dao convention, it is time to reel in the net. Stay sharp, everyone. Today, our job is not just to protect the immortal tablet during extraction. Just then, someone reported to Kai Ling. Dozens of low-level loose cultivators have appeared at the foot of Mount Sanqing. Over 10 wanted evil cultivation experts are also on their way. Soon, Wang Sheng and his group began their move. Inside the vehicle, Wang Sheng was wiping his Wuling sword, preparing for the upcoming major battle. Sure enough, as soon as the convoy reached the foot of the mountain, they were ambushed. When Wang Sheng and Mu Shixuan got out of the car, they saw a man flying directly toward the helicopter transporting the tablet. With one kick, he snapped the helicopter's tail rotor. The helicopter then crashed straight into a nearby hill. It exploded into pieces the moment it hit. The man immediately rushed toward the fallen immortal tablet. Fizi, who was nearby, discovered the man actually had a golden core cultivation. When the man reached the crate, he excitedly tore open the metal casing. But the next second, a sword pierced directly through his chest. It was Jing Yun, who had been waiting there for a long time. Wang Sheng, in the middle of a fierce fight, was also surprised to see martial uncle Jing Yun. It seems Master's secrecy work was quite top-notch. With the combined effort of Wang Sheng and Mu Shixuan, they quickly wiped out these small-time thugs. Quickly, reinforcements began to arrive one after another. Meanwhile, the golden core man fighting Jing Yun suddenly had purple light erupt from his eyes. Jing Yun realized something was wrong. She instantly backed away to create distance. Her hands gathered a massive purple orb of light. It instantly transformed into 2 huge blasts that struck the man. However, a giant purple shield formed around the man, blocking all the attacks. He then closed in on Jing Yun in a flash. With a single punch, he sent Jing Yun flying a great distance. He then immediately moved toward Wang Sheng's side of the battlefield. In an instant, he dismantled Wang Sheng and the others' offensive. With just one punch, Wang Sheng was sent flying, coughing up a mouthful of blood. At the critical moment, the reinforcements finally arrived. Only then did the Golden Core cultivator realize the immortal monument was just a trap. Under the heavy siege of the arriving reinforcements, the Golden Core man was finally executed. The immortal monument was secured in this battle, and the evil cultivators of the Yinyang Wanwu sect were completely wiped out. However, the righteous sects also suffered significant losses. As the curtain fell on the first great war between good and evil, the immortal monument was successfully evacuated. But having lost an arm, the Yinyang Wanwu sect became the sworn enemy of the righteous path from that day forward. The righteous sects were shocked by the power displayed by the Yinyang sect, and reached a consensus to unite and eliminate them. After the conclusion of the First Great War, Martial Uncle Jing Yun took Wang Sheng and Mu Shixuan back to Cheongnamshan. He told them to stay there and focus on their cultivation. However, Wang Sheng was carrying a massive boulder on his back. Curious, Martial Uncle could not help but ask Wang Sheng, "Everything is fine, so why are you carrying that thing up the mountain?" "Martial Uncle, a senior from the sword sect lent this to me for my training." From then on, Wang Sheng carried this boulder every day during his practice. After entering the void core stage, a cultivator can only continue to accumulate true essence, but cannot yet condense it. Once they ascend to the golden core stage, all true essence transforms into Dharma power, making condensation even more impossible. The sword sect lent the sword suppressing stone to Wang Sheng, specifically so he could use it to condense his true essence to nourish himself. This way, when Wang Sheng reaches the golden core stage, his Dharma power will be much more refined. However, while carrying the stone, just a few movement steps drained nearly 10% of Wang Sheng's true essence. Still, he insisted on finishing the entire sword routine, but he only made it halfway halfway through, before the true essence in his body was completely exhausted. In an instant, he was pinned to the ground by that sword-suppressing stone. Thus, Wang Sheng lived in a cycle of being crushed and getting ready to be crushed again. 1 month later, Wang Sheng felt a significant improvement in his true essence and meridians. At the same time, he reached the peak of the foundation stage. He just needed a single opportunity to break through to the void core stage. That day, Wang Sheng suddenly received a call from his father. As soon as he picked up, he heard his father's serious voice on the other end. "Something big has happened at home. I need to ask for your opinion." These words gave Wang Sheng quite a shock. But not long after, Wang Sheng was seen staring at his phone with a silly grin on his face. His junior sister looked on with total confusion. Has senior brother cultivated so hard that his brain finally snapped? But when she saw the emoji sent by senior sister, Mew, junior sister immediately got excited too. Wait, what? Senior brother is about to become an older brother. It turns out Wang Sheng's parents, wanting to improve the lives of the 3 disciples, often sent money to their master. Ever since master joined the investigation task force, he often sent them medicinal pills as a token of gratitude. Although these pills were not priceless treasures, they had the effect of nourishing the body and extending one's lifespan. Perhaps because of this, Wang Sheng's parents finally conceived a second child. Since hearing the news, Wang Sheng had been fumbling around in pure excitement. From now on, my sword has one more person to protect. As the new year approached, martial uncle took junior sister to find master, while Wang Sheng took his senior sister home for the holidays. Shortly after the new year, the official website finally released the first heaven rankings. Master Qing Yanzi was only ranked 6th in this first edition. Wang Sheng soon discovered that senior sister had also made the list. Just as he was about to share the good news with her, senior sister held out her phone to him. Surprisingly, he had made it onto the heaven rankings as well. When he saw the ranking, I was momentarily speechless. This ranking, can it actually stay there? A moment later, Wang Sheng began receiving congratulatory messages from all sides. Congrats Feiyu. Wang Sheng was flooded with messages from everyone. That is sick. Wang Sheng continued to receive congratulations from all over. Some even asked how much he paid to top the charts. Congrats Feiyu. Some even joked, asking how much he topped up to get that rank. They even asked if he used a pay-to-win strategy to get up there. These past few days were the most relaxing Wang Sheng had ever had. Ever since he brought senior sister home for the first time, his parents never treated her like a stranger, and to let his mom get some proper rest, senior sister proactively took over all the household chores. However, Wang Sheng felt unusually drowsy. Then he remembered what master said. Starting from the void core realm, breakthroughs in cultivation are often accompanied by omens, but having sleeping as an omen is a bit too much, is not it? Meanwhile, senior sister, who was busy with chores, suddenly sensed Wang Sheng's unusual state. This made her incredibly anxious. Junior brother is about to form his void core, but the spiritual energy in this mortal world is too turbid. It is not ideal for a breakthrough. In the end, senior sister went to Wang Sheng's side, circulated her own cultivation technique, and converted her own spirit energy into the purest form to transfer it to Wang Sheng. Finally, she helped Wang Sheng break through to the void core realm in one go. When Wang Sheng slowly woke up, he found senior sister asleep in a chair. Senior sister woke up shortly after. Wang Sheng quickly urged her to go to bed, while he stayed by her side to watch over her. Seeing her look so exhausted, Wang Sheng realized what she had done. He was deeply moved. Once senior sister was fast asleep, Wang Sheng began to stabilize his new realm. Over the next few months, I need to slowly cleanse my spirit and marrow, to let my Tao transcend the mundane world. Once this realm is perfected, I can charge toward the golden core realm. But the most important thing right now is, I can finally practice the sword kinesis and flight techniques of the void core realm. Just thinking about taking senior sister for a flight in the sky once she wakes up, Wang Sheng could not stop grinning from ear to ear. On New Year's Eve, the whole family was happily gathered together watching the Spring Festival Gala. Senior sister also received a lucky red envelope from Wang Sheng's mother. Just then, Mo Yu suddenly called. Wang Sheng thought it was just a New Year's greeting call, but the moment he answered, he heard her frantic voice saying they needed his help. It turned out that the female corpse brought back from the moon had suddenly started moving. She broke out of the research facility, and the direction she was flying toward was exactly where Wang Sheng was. Upon learning that the lunar corpse was heading his way, Wang Sheng immediately prepared to go out and meet the Special Investigation Task Force. He told senior sister to stay home with his parents, while he went out alone. But when Wang Sheng reached the door, senior sister was already there waiting for him. On the way, the task force judged that her target should be an archaeological ruin in the same direction, but not long after they set out, news came in. The target had entered Wang Sheng's home. At that moment, Wang Sheng's father called him. After explaining the situation at home, he conveyed the visitor's exact words. The message was, "Old friends are hard to find, no longer a lonely soul. My heart is filled with joy," or something like that. Wang Sheng immediately told his father to tell her he was on his way back. On the way back, Wang Sheng recalled records from ancient books. During the pre-Qin era, immortals descended to the world to leave behind legacies. Fast forward to 1,300 years ago. Most cultivators have followed the immortals into battle. The world's essence chi has been severed. The path of cultivation has ceased to exist, setting aside where the immortals went to fight. Whether that fairy is the sole survivor remains to be seen, but since she is of divine lineage, she likely won't harm senior sister. When Wang Sheng returned to his home, he found his master and several experts from the investigation task force already waiting outside. They seemed to sense that Wang Sheng and senior sister had returned. That female celestial appeared before the two of them in an instant. "Senior, you just visited this junior's humble abode. If you wish to see an old friend, why not go back inside and sit with my senior sister for a while?" The woman replied via telepathy. "I have troubled you enough." Wang Sheng was clearly startled by the telepathic voice, but he soon noticed a lingering aura of death between the woman's brows. It seemed this fairy had not yet fully resurrected. When the three of them entered the house, Wang Sheng spoke directly to the fairy. "My senior sister is unable to speak. She uses text and images to express everything." The woman spoke then. "Is it because her soul is damaged? Could even the 6 paths of reincarnation not fully mend it?" Wang Sheng immediately asked, "Senior, how could my senior sister's soul be damaged? In your past life, you and senior sister encountered." Before he could finish his sentence, the woman interrupted him. "Asking too much will bring you no benefit. Knowing more is useless for you right now." Senior sister pulled out her phone at that moment. Senior sister held up her phone. The screen read, "Who am I? Where am I?" The woman fell silent for a moment before saying, "If you could return to this place. Perhaps other Daoist friends have returned here as well. But my time is running out. I do not know if I can find the others. I broke the heavenly seal, because I sense the legacy of the stars still lingers here. From now on, just focus on your cultivation. This realm is still relatively peaceful for now." At this point, senior sister showed her phone to Wang Sheng. Then Wang Sheng spoke up. "Senior, my senior sister asks, can you ever be restored to your original state? Is there anything this junior can do to help? In your past life, you were a pure and ethereal fairy. In this life, you are simply Mu Shixuan, one seeker among the countless living beings. The past is already like dust. Old friends have passed away. Why look back through the cracks of time? You both have only just stepped onto the path of cultivation. Just focus on your practice. Achieve the immortal Tao first, then seek the answers you crave. The lunar palace can resolve all your doubts, but those who have not attained immortality cannot find the location of the lunar palace. Use your purple star heaven sword to protect her well. In the future, you will naturally reap the benefits. My wishes are fulfilled. I must search for the reincarnation stone left in this world. Perhaps there is still a glimmer of hope. Don't let her worry about me. If she asks, just say I have already entered reincarnation." After the fairy left, the large group outside hurriedly gave chase. Meanwhile, Wang Sheng's parents were placed under the protection of the Combat Readiness Unit. They were ordered to be relocated overnight. After receiving the fairy's gift, senior sister remained in a state of deep meditation. To Wang Sheng's astonishment, it seemed senior sister had broken through again. At the thought of a 20-something golden core cultivator, those old Daoist masters would probably want to hang themselves in shame if they knew. Following this, Wang Sheng handed over the intelligence provided by the fairy to the investigation task force. "So I focused all my efforts on protecting senior sister while she meditated. After several days of her remaining in that state of enlightenment, her cultivation base stabilized firmly at the peak of the void core stage. But the biggest surprise of all was that senior sister's aphasia actually improved a little. She went from 1-word answers to 2. That is a massive leap in quality. A total level up in her communication skills. Once the Lantern Festival had passed, Wang Sheng and the others set off to return to Wudang Mountain, and Wang Sheng finally got his wish granted. He could take senior sister for a joyride through the clouds. A few hours later, because senior sister's phone ran out of juice from playing games, she immediately put on a pitiful, heartbroken face. Just then, Wang Sheng spotted a village below. He decided to head down for a quick break, and to give the phone a quick charge while they were at it. But suddenly, Wang Sheng noticed something off. There was actually someone up ahead, cultivating as a demon. Ever since the restoration of worldly essence, plants and animals have been gaining spiritual intelligence. Those who focus solely on cultivation without killing are called spirits. But if a spirit absorbs human essence to gain humanity, and harms the bodies and minds of people, then it becomes a demon. And right before Wang Sheng's eyes, a demonic being was absorbing the essence of the moon. Wang Sheng soon discovered a nearby factory. He and senior sister quietly approached the entrance. Peering through the window, they saw that someone was actually farming demons. Wang Sheng immediately reported this discovery to Mo Yu, and Mo Yu texted back a simple 10 minutes. Sure enough, exactly 10 minutes later, the investigation task force rushed to the scene. They rounded up everyone involved in farming the demons. Police, they arrested all those demon breeders on the spot. Every single one of them was taken into custody. After a bit of interrogation, these people claimed they were just hired farmhands, but behind them, there was a big boss. However, that boss had driven off just 10 minutes before they arrived. Then, a member of the task force pulled out a phone, saying it was found at the scene. There was a note attached to the phone. It was clearly left specifically for Wang Sheng. Wang Sheng realized then that since they were not flying very high earlier, the evil cultivators must have spotted them coming. When Wang Sheng opened the video on the phone, it was actually a message from the young master of the Yin-Yang sect. The techniques your senior sister Mu Shixuan is using, single quote, seem to be the yin-yang talisman scripts of my Wanwu sect. Some radical masters within our sect might try to harm you both because of this. I truly admire you two from the bottom of my heart, so why not just return the yin-yang talisman scripts to me? Wang Sheng turned to his senior sister and said, Senior sister, give me a trash-talking meme, the most savage one you have got. Wang Sheng immediately sent that savage meme back to him. As a result, the guy blocked Wang Sheng instantly. Soon, Wang Sheng reported everything that happened to his master. After listening, Qing Yanzi suggested they should provoke them a bit more, to see if they could bait them out. But since they already got a glimpse of the yin-yang secret scripts last time, it might be hard to make that trick work again. Wang Sheng then suddenly remembered the ancient demon from Xian Temple. But Master said he had already thought of that, and he had already sent people to handle it. However, building up the hype for the plan would take about 2 or 3 months. Master told Wang Sheng to just be patient and wait. Finally, Wang Sheng asked Kai Ling to spread a rumor, saying that he and senior sister were away on a mission. After all, they were about to go into seclusion at Wudang. He wanted to avoid bringing any trouble to the Wudang legacy. A few days later, booming explosions began to echo from Wudang Mountain. The noise was coming directly from Wang Sheng's courtyard. It is a success. Wang Sheng looked at the sword pill in his hand with a face full of excitement. He immediately rushed over to give it to senior sister. Ever since Wang Sheng settled the demon farming incident, he and senior sister have been back on Wudang Mountain, focusing entirely on their cultivation. The first thing Wang Sheng did upon his return was to refine a sword pellet for Mu Shixuan. Seeing the pure joy on his senior sister's face as she received the sword pellet, Wang Sheng was absolutely over the moon. It seemed the failures of the past few days were not in vain after all. Gazing at Mu Shixuan, Wang Sheng could not help but think that the heavens had truly been kind to him in this life. If senior sister does not care for the affairs of the heart, I will simply stay by her side and continue our cultivation journey together. But if one day she suddenly has an epiphany and the seeds of love begin to sprout, I will devote all my heart and soul to ensure she never feels even a moment of loneliness. The path to immortality is promising, especially when walking it with you. While Wang Sheng and Mu Shixuan were focused on their secluded cultivation, Qing Yanzi's fishing plan was also proceeding in an orderly fashion. Following Wang Sheng's suggestion, the task force was constructing a fake Xian temple, luring the enemy into the trap. As the fake Xian temple reached completion, various rumors began to surface. These rumors were intentionally designed to draw everyone's attention toward the Xian temple, located over 100 miles away from the sword sect. On the other hand, Qing Yanzi led the task force to continue their crackdown on the Yin-Yang sect. After all, only with enough pressure would the enemy be desperate enough to take a risky gamble by releasing the ancient demon and seeking its aid. And so, 2.5 months passed by. Wang Sheng finally received a phone call from Mo Yu. Before Mo Yu could even speak, an excited Wang Sheng told her to just give him the time and place, claiming he was ready to head out at a moment's notice. Mo Yu, however, looked completely baffled. Wait, you already know. She then suggested Wang Sheng stay behind to guard his senior sister as she attempts to reach the golden core stage. We can send someone else for this matter. The opponent's strength is not that impressive anyway. Wang Sheng was stunned upon hearing this. Their strength is not impressive. Has the task force become a bit too overconfident? He immediately stated that senior sister had not reached the right moment for breakthrough yet. Furthermore, for this battle, he did not want anyone else taking his place. Mo Yu excitedly said she would arrange for someone to pick him up right away. After hanging up the phone, Wang Sheng shouted enthusiastically, "Senior sister, pack your things. We are going to throw down with the Yinyang Wanwu sect." Once Wang Sheng and Mu Shixuan had finished packing their bags, Mo Yu's phone call came through again. Wang Sheng wondered if they had arrived so soon. After picking up, Mo Yu awkwardly asked Wang Sheng if he actually knew what she was talking about earlier. When she heard Wang Sheng mention Xian Temple, Mo Yu let out a long sigh. "I knew you misunderstood. The time has not come to activate that plan yet. Actually, it is about Sakurajima, Gran, and the pyramids. They are planning to hold a practitioner exchange meet here in Dahua. So, do you want to come over? Word has it that those guys from Sakurajima are being quite arrogant." Wang Sheng was instantly hit by a wave of embarrassment. An international exchange meet. How come he had never heard of this in his past life? Anyway, when Wang Sheng and senior sister arrived at the destination, they found many familiar faces there. Even the Shilu power couple had shown up. Once everyone had gathered, Mo Yu gave a brief explanation regarding the assembly. Basically, Dahua has been developing rapidly these past few years, and they are all feeling pretty salty about it. Their visit this time is actually an attempt to scout our true strength. At this point, Mo Yu suddenly got fired up. If we can achieve a clean sweep in this exchange meet, there is no need to hold back or let them win. After all, this is not table tennis. We do not have that kind of courtesy protocol here. After speaking, he immediately pointed toward Wang Sheng. "Daoist Wang, you are usually quite steady and composed. It would not hurt to be a bit more high profile this time." Shi Qianzhang immediately got fired up upon hearing this. "Don't you worry. Flexing and showing off is my specialty. Sheng, if there is anything you do not get, just ask me." The day of the competition finally arrived. Once the representatives from the 3 countries had all gathered, Qing Yanzi, acting as the host, officially declared the start of the tournament. Because the Sakurajima team leader had lost to Qing Yanzi the previous day, he sent his top disciple to face Wang Sheng in the first round. Faced with his opponent's full-throttle attack, Wang Sheng effortlessly dismantled it with a casual strike. Then, with a gentle tap, he sent the man flying out of the ring. Wang Sheng cupped his fists and said, "Good game." But that fellow took advantage of Wang Sheng's lowered guard to launch a sneak attack. Wang Sheng sighed and blocked the strike with ease. He immediately countered with several bursts of sword chi, instantly shattering the opponent's sword. The guy still lacked self-awareness and tried to charge again, but his master called him back. At that moment, a female swordsman from Gran stepped up, wanting to challenge Wang Sheng's sword skills. She gripped her sword with both hands before her chest and gave a loud shout, then raised the blade high above her head. A massive surge of golden sword chi erupted from the blade. Seeing such a chunibyo pose and dramatic move, Wang Sheng could not help but burst out laughing. In the face of this flashy attack, Wang Sheng still neutralized it with a single casual move. The girl was knocked back by the recoil and flopped right onto the ground. Then, as luck would have it, the sword fell right between her legs. Next up was the representative from the Golden Pyramid Nation. But as soon as this guy stepped onto the stage, before anyone could even process what was happening, he was already clutching his head and kneeling on the floor. Shi Qianzhang watched this with a face full of confusion. Wei Jing explained the situation. The Golden Pyramid fighter had just used an illusion attack, but Wang Sheng shattered it instantly with his sword intent. To onlookers, it simply looked like they were standing still. The Shilu duo finally had an I see look on their faces. When Wang Sheng stepped down from the stage, his senior sister proudly gave him 2 big thumbs up. Qing Yanzi then addressed the personnel from the 3 countries. "My humble disciple has just shown you a little something. Since today is about mutual exchange, how about this? Among the 5 young disciples behind me, you may pick any one of them to spar with. What do you say?" Just then, Shi Qianzhang raised his hand with a mischievous grin. "Daoist Bu Yan, can I introduce us first?" Everyone immediately looked speechless. What kind of nonsense is this guy up to now? Qing Yanzi gave Shi Qianzhang a look, signaling him to say whatever he wanted. Shi Qianzhang then announced, "Actually, our seating order is very specific. You guys can choose your opponents based on your own skill levels. Think of it as a little courtesy from the Great Hua Nation. Starting from me, the difficulty levels are easy, normal, hard, hell, and heaven. And by heaven, I mean they will literally send you to the afterlife with ease." Seeing Shi Qianzhang's arrogant display, Lu Yunji and Wei Jing's faces were covered in dark lines. This guy is clearly trying to draw all the aggro toward us. Who would be shameless enough to challenge the most noob-tier fighter, Shi Qianzhang? But Shi Qianzhang soon realized he was wrong. He had underestimated the opponent's level of shamelessness. Someone actually stepped up to challenge the noob himself. Although Shi Qianzhang might be the weak link in his own group, he was no pushover against the Sakurajima contestant. In an instant, he had the opponent on his knees, begging for mercy. In the next round, someone actually had a death wish and challenged senior sister. This was basically a level 1 newbie trying to solo a max level boss. Senior sister effortlessly one-shotted her opponent. After several matches, was. The Sakurajima group could be seen whispering among themselves. Then they requested for Wang Sheng to take the stage once again. As for them, they sent out 2 people to challenge Wang Sheng at the same time. They actually dispatched 2 fighters to take on Wang Sheng simultaneously. When those 2 launched their attack against Wang Sheng felt like he had seen these moves somewhere before. Suddenly, it clicked for Wang Sheng. Their techniques were identical to that girl, disguised as a nurse at the hospital last time. So the Yin-Yang Wanwu sect really is connected to the Sakurajima higher-ups. Since that is the case, Wang Sheng decided to stop pulling his punches. With old scores and new grudges combined, I will collect some interest on that debt today. Right after Wang Sheng knocked those 2 down, he looked straight at the Sakurajima team leader and said, "Your so-called mystic arts are nothing more than this. Don't you have anything a bit more advanced? This footwork you are using, it is just a simplified version of our Great Wa country's Bagua shield technique. Back then, you learned so many cultivation methods from Great Wa. Have they all been lost to time already?" The leader was instantly provoked by those words. He prepared to step onto the stage to fight Wang Sheng personally, but Wang Sheng defeated his opponent with ease. He even arrogantly declared, "I have not even used half of my real strength yet. Why do not you all just attack me at once? If you can force me to use my strongest sword move, I will admit defeat today." How about it? Those people from the small island nation had no sense of martial honor at all. They actually swarmed onto the stage all at once like a disturbed hive of bees. Facing the coordinated assault from the Sakurajima crowd, Wang Sheng did not panic in the slightest. With a casual wave of his hand, he sent them all flying backward. Seeing the first wave fall, another group from the island nation rushed forward. Nearby, Shi Qianzhong was so furious he wanted to jump on stage to help Wang Sheng, but Mu Shixuan knocked him out with a single palm strike. Then senior sister said, "Have faith in your junior brother." Wang Sheng met them head-on without a trace of fear. Wang Sheng noticed the last 2 individuals still had not made a move. He thought to himself, these 2 really know how to play the waiting game. Just as Wang Sheng was countering the others, the 2 who had been holding back finally saw their opening. They launched a sneak attack on Wang Sheng simultaneously. Seeing this, the corners of Wang Sheng's mouth curled into a slight smile. "I was finally waiting for you 2 to show your hand." He immediately unleashed his current most powerful strike. That intense blast of energy directly punched a hole through the wall of the hall. The Sakurajima leader was paralyzed with fear. If that attack had been just an inch closer, his life would have been over. Seeing that his objective was achieved, Wang Sheng let out a helpless sigh. "I have used my ultimate move. According to the rules we set, I have lost. Congratulations. You win." That sarcasm hit them right in the face like a loud slap. Shi Qianzhong and the others could not hold back their laughter any longer. After Wang Sheng admitted defeat, he walked off the stage without looking back. He then approached Master and began communicating with him via secret sound transmission. Wei Jing asked Wang Sheng in their group chat, "Why were you targeting Sakurajima so hard today?" Wang Sheng shared his discovery with them. He also mentioned he had already sent a transmission to Master. Master was currently using the excuse of treating their injuries to probe their cultivation techniques. To their surprise, Senior Sister suggested just rounding them all up. Senior Sister bluntly said we should just arrest them. She thought we should just take them into custody, then just whip them a little to make them talk. Why make it so complicated? Her words immediately left everyone in the chat speechless. Soon, Wang Sheng relayed Qing Yanzi's findings to the group. Wang Sheng told them Qing Yanzi's discovery. "Let them go for now while we gather evidence." Wang Sheng shared what Master had found with the rest of them. Wang Sheng updated them on Qing Yanzi's observations. They indeed possess techniques from the Yin-Yang Wanwu sect. For now, we will let them head back first. Keep the information confidential, and let them go for the time being. We are letting them leave for now. We will wait until the intel is gathered before making a move. When the time comes, we might need to organize an exchange delegation to Sakurajima. After the competition, the group was leisurely playing cards. Shi Qianzhong asked Wang Sheng what his next plan was. He insisted that if Wang Sheng went to pick a fight with evil cultivators, he must bring him along. Wei Jing chimed in from the side. He joked that Qianzhong better watch out, or he would get carried away in a single wave. While the group was bantering, Kai Ling entered the room. She told Wang Sheng that the matter regarding Xian Temple had been finalized. Although the Shilu ship was not on the official list, their master was a participant in the operation. So she let everyone listen in on the plan. According to the plan, they spread false rumors of a massive battle between Xian Temple and an ancient demon. This led the evil cultivators to believe the righteous cultivators suffered heavy losses. It was bait to lure them out. Furthermore, as planned, In the coming days, they would launch a nationwide suppression of evil cultivators. At this critical juncture, chaos would break out at Xian Temple. At that moment, various units would receive a distress signal. They would then reinforce Xian Temple. The operation begins. The next day, Wang Sheng, Mu Shixuan and Kai Ling arrived at the Daoist Heritage Research Institute. Upon entering the meeting room, they found it was already packed with people. The purpose of summoning Wang Sheng this time was to learn about the interaction between the two of them and the Moon Fairy. At this moment, Xingyanzi cleared his throat. He mentioned things that the fairy did not say, and things that even she might not know. He could fill in the blanks. When Wang Sheng saw the object his master brought out, he was astonished. Isn't this the secret treasure passed down to our sect by Ancestor Lu? Once Xingyanzi opened the secret treasure, a phantom image of Ancestor Lu actually manifested. In my lineage, does any successor remain? In the distant past, the universe and all things were in a state of chaos. Under the guidance of the great Tao, the immortal sacred domain gradually took shape. As various races were born, the first immortals appeared and drove the alien races out of the sacred domain. Millions of years ago, after the Wuxian immortal emperor merged the sacred domain with the star domains to create the immortal realm, he attempted to assimilate with the great Tao of the universe. Unexpectedly, he was met with a sanction from the great Tao. Not only him, countless immortals were implicated and perished as a result. The immortal race fell into chaos. The numerous powerful beings they once drove out took the chance to strike back. Eventually, the immortal realm was shattered. The leader of the immortals at that time, Emperor Zawei, along with the celestial court, escorted the Wuxian emperor's children into a forbidden land. Originally, Earth had a race sharing the same roots as the immortals. They were called the Yushe clan. After the immortals discovered Earth, they immediately used formations to hide it and passed their heritage to the Yushe. This triggered a resonance with the great Tao. Although the heritage was passed down, the immortals were unwilling to accept defeat. Moreover, time on Earth flows 100 times slower than in the outside world. They could not afford any more delays. Therefore, 1,300 years ago, the immortals decided to fight their way out of the forbidden land to restore their former glory. Before leaving, they completely sealed off Earth's Yuan-Chi to prevent their enemies from finding this place. But once the alien races knew the immortals had reappeared, they immediately united to wipe out the immortal race with all their might. The immortals suffered heavy casualties. The 13th princess died on the way back to Earth due to severe injuries. Ancestor Lu sent this box back to Earth before the final battle, as a warning to us. If any of us manage to achieve ascension, by no means should we reveal Earth's location, lest we bring disaster upon ourselves. Hearing all this, Wang Sheng could not help but sigh. It turns out the celestial court was not as perfect as we imagined. On the way back, Xingyanzi noticed that Wang Sheng had been somewhat distracted since the meeting ended. He asked if the contents of the meeting had shaken his Daoist heart. Seeing Wang Sheng's reaction, Xingyanzi knew he was pretty much spot on. He explained that he had originally planned to reveal the matter of ascending to immortality only when they were ready to face their tribulations. However, achieving immortality is not that easy. Just focus on your cultivation for now. Hearing this, Wang Sheng's mood instantly brightened. He smiled and said that he understood. His senior sister, also happy, gently patted Wang Sheng's head. Just then, his senior sister made a gesture towards Wang Sheng. Wang Sheng understood immediately. His senior sister meant for them to face the tribulation and ascend to immortality together, and then go out and see the world. He recalled that in his past life, his senior sister knew that princess from the heavenly court. Her status must be quite high. With that level of innate talent, she will likely face no major obstacles in this life either. But I am just a mortal. What if my senior sister becomes an immortal, and I can't keep up? What then? But then he quickly came to a realization. I possess the Daoist legacies of the great Emperor Zawei and Ancestor Lu. Plus, I have my master and senior sister to guide me. If I still can't become an immortal, then I might as well just die in my senior sister's arms and call it a day. The thought of this made him chuckle mischievously. The scene changes. Inside a certain factory, Shi Qianzhang and his two companions were lying in ambush, ready to intercept the evil cultivators. Soon, some evil cultivators ran out from inside. The group immediately sprang into action, with the three of them coordinating. The evil cultivators were utterly routed, but none of them noticed that an evil cultivator had appeared above them at some point. He launched a sneak attack directly at Lu Yunji. Just in the nick of time, a streak of sword energy flew in and neutralized the attack, and it killed the evil cultivator. The three looked and saw that it was Wang Sheng, who had arrived just in time. Wei Jing was surprised to see Wang Sheng arrive. She urged him to hurry inside and help, but Wang Sheng just smiled and said his senior sister had already gone in. As soon as he finished speaking, they saw his senior sister send the roof flying with a single punch. Wang Sheng nervously swallowed. We do not have to pay for property damages. Dewey. After the incident, the interrogation results came in. The male evil cultivator that Wang Sheng had killed was the Hunyuan immortal who carried the intelligence from the Yin-Yang sect. Wang Sheng sighed helplessly. Sometimes, being too fast with the sword is not a good thing. After the debriefing, just as the group was preparing to head back, Niu Yu appeared before them once again. Xian Temple. There has been an incident. We just received a report. The ancient demon at Xian Temple is showing signs of activity. Right now, dozens of masters are working together to suppress the demonic energy. We need Wang Sheng and the others to go and assist. But for some unknown reason, Wang Sheng suddenly felt an inexplicable sense of unease. The scene changes. Inside the Yin-Yang sect's headquarters, the Yin-Yang sect's leader had somehow learned of the Special Investigation Task Force's plan. He ordered his subordinates to remain hidden. No matter what happens, do not reveal any sign of activity. At that moment, the Yin-Yang sect leader's phone suddenly rang. When he answered, a familiar voice came through. I have changed my mind. Why do not we turn their plan against them? We can eliminate some of the righteous path's vital forces. It will be good preparation for our future plans. And the person on the other end of the line appeared to be a Buddhist figure. This is a good opportunity. Even if we fail, it won't cost us too much of our strength. I have been to Xian Temple. I have observed the layout there. The ancient demon should have recovered some of its power by now. I just need to find a chance to release the ancient demon. Those righteous cultivators will naturally rush into their deaths.